Okay, all right, we're live now. Sorry, folks, the slight technical difficulties. All right. I know I like have a vow not to cuss in the content, but I don't know how else to say it. This is fucking crazy right now, okay? But if you're just joining us, if you're like, what just happened, I'll run you through the news first, okay? So long story short, this is breaking news as of about like 2 seconds ago. Someone just tried to assassinate Donald Trump at his rally in Pennsylvania. And unfortunately for YouTube guidelines, I'm not sure if I can play the video, nor do I think it is smart to play the video. You know, I don't want to like resurface the original video itself. But long story short, to summarize it here, what essentially happened was he's speaking at the rally, and you hear what sounds like, and I'm pretty sure, our gunshots go off. Okay, so something flies past his ear. He's like, oh, and then Secret Service rushes to, you know, get around him. And this is what happened for people who haven't seen the video yet. Secret Service rushes around him, and then, you know, you hear a lot of these gunshots going off. Now, to be clear, and I think I'm doing the live right now so we can get the information live. I'm sure it's going to come out. It's not clear exactly what happened in terms of those gunshots, because I'm sure some of those might be from Secret Service shooting back at the shooter, or if it was a shooter or he tried to launch something. I still have a lot of questions, because I think my biggest question, first of all, is how exactly did a gun even get into a Trump rally, right? I was at the Trump rally in Miami just this Tuesday, and, you know, they do metal detectors, they do all that stuff, and so I don't know, like, I'm not here to speculate, right? Maybe you had some type of long-distance, I don't know, sniper or something, or you had, maybe they snuck in, they concealed something, or it looked like something else, but they tried to launch it at the president, and then Secret Service was shooting at him, or those were just all the shots. I don't know. You listen to the sounds of the gunshots, I don't know if it's just the audio, but they did sound a little compressed. I don't know if there's a silencer on them or it's a 22 or something. I don't know, but that's just to summarize, long story short, for people who are tuning in and are like, what, they just tried to assassinate Trump, what happened? That is essentially what happened in the video itself. And sorry, I'm like, you know, all over the place right now, but genuinely, okay, this is one of those moments where my adrenaline is actually pumping. Like, this is not just news coverage or political commentary. This is obviously bigger than that. But I do know, I'm pretty sure I could play this right here on YouTube, which is, just for anyone wondering, as we know right now, Trump seems to be perfectly okay. Like I said, something just appears to have flown past his ear. Whether that's a bullet from the guns or it was the Secret Service shooting the guns, we don't know at the current moment. But just check out this video right here. This was right after you see Trump is bleeding from his ear. And whatever happens here is whatever happens. But take a look at this. So, I mean, right off the gate, okay? First of all, obviously, pray for our president and pray for his safety, because it has always been true, really, since the moment he came down that escalator, but especially at the current moment right now, you know, forces of evil are out to get him, okay? And that is completely true. I think it's also true that if what happened here is what we think happened and what seems like happened, you know, God stepped in to save President Trump today, if that's true. Because if it whizzed right past his ear and, you know, it was that close to hitting him right in the face. And again, it's what we think it is, right? Someone tried to shoot at him. I don't know what else to say besides, like, that really is a miracle, is it not? So first of all, obviously, say a prayer for President Trump for a speedy recovery and, you know, for his overall safety and continued safety, because this is really an insane moment, right? I mean, I don't think we have seen the even close to attempted assassination of a president since Ronald Reagan in the 80s. It's really something I almost thought that, given modern security protocols, was impossible to happen ever again. But as you can see, it is still very much possible in the 21st century. And just again, a completely crazy situation. But perhaps there's a silver lining in it all, right? Which is, despite the fact that this is such a dark moment, obviously, for the United States, and, I'm deeply concerned for President Trump's safety. To a degree, there is something greatly inspiring about the legend of Trump that was born in this moment, okay? And the reason I say that is obviously, if we want to play this again. So, again, if what we think happened is what happened, so he just got shot, it seems. Again, I'm going to say maybe something was launched at him, whatever. Maybe they were shooting at the guy launching. But, okay, assuming that this is true, he just got shot. A bullet literally just grazed him in the ear. Secret Service is covering him. They're trying to protect his life, get him to the hospital. He tells the Secret Service, while he's bleeding from the face, okay? This is a story you are going to tell your children. As he is bleeding from his face, he says, wait, to the Secret Service, turns to the crowd, and puts his fist in the air like an alpha. Like, if you're going to come for the king, you best not miss. Okay? This image right here. This image will go down in American history. Okay? It really will. So, again, glad he's okay. All right? This is not something I obviously ever wish would have happened, because this is a dangerous point in the United States history right now. But you can't help but say, as a patriot of this country, that this image right here is not inspiring, okay? And I think in many ways, it is a greater summary of the legend. You see these pictures right here. I don't know, whatever journalist took this is going to get a Pulitzer for sure. You see right there, right? It does, in many ways, summarize the legend that is Donald Trump, right? The man they could not stop. And they literally even, apparently according to today, tried to what to him. And here he is still standing, okay? And, this has long been my take on Trump running for his second term. Because you always hear, throughout the years, we've had a lot of conservatives hop off the ship, or they said the first Trump term was a disappointment. He actually didn't deliver in terms of policy as much as we hoped. Who's to say the second term? What if the second term is just a repeat? What if he doesn't really drain the swamp? The story, and I wish more people would understand this, the story of Donald Trump is bigger than that, right? Obviously, we want to see all of the MAGA policies get passed, drain the swamp, and all of that. But I think the real reason why it is so incumbent that we, as the MAGA movement, win this election, and why, the legend of Trump winning a second term would be mountains bigger than anything he actually did as president, is it is all about the story and the legend of Donald Trump in many ways, okay? Because this is something that American patriots, for decades after he's out of office, he's gone, he's out of politics, whatever, that we will remember, is the story of this guy, this larger-than-life figure. He came down that escalator, everyone laughed at him, they thought he was a joke. Come November 2016, nobody was laughing, right? And then 2020 happened. In some ways, you could say he got knocked down, right? And then the comeback story, the story of how they couldn't stop him, and they even tried to do this. And even in the moment where he's literally bleeding from his face, he turns to the crowd and says, I am unfazed, right? That is legendary. But the thing is this, is that I think in many ways, if you look at the current state of America, and by the way, I bet you that we will see times in this country over the next 30 years where things might even be worse than they currently are under Biden. I mean, I truly hope Trump wins in 2024 and we see a national revival and the story is happy ever after. But we know that's not always the way the world goes. But I think the greater point here is, again, this legendary story is something that will inspire the hearts and minds of the American people forever, right? Whenever we say it's not possible, whenever we say things are doomed, just remember that orange, literally bulletproof guy who came down the escalator and showed you that, hey, a different way forward is possible. A greater America is possible than what we currently have right now. And in so many ways, I look at this photo and say it summarizes the legend of Donald Trump. Like, that is what he is. That is the way he will be remembered. That's the way, ultimately, I'm going to tell my kids about the Trump presidency. It's not, when all the dust is settled, right? It's not going to be about, oh, did he pass the border bill or did he pass the First Step Back? Did he, were the tax cuts good? Were they bad? It's like, yeah, ultimately now, these are the policy debates we have. But in the greater scheme of things, what we will remember from Donald Trump, again, when this is all over, I'm not saying it is. I don't want anyone to think, oh, he just died. No, he did not just die. But what we're going to remember at the end of the day is the story of this legendary patriot who stood up to power. They tried to stop him. They tried to even take the nuclear option, as you can just see, and it didn't work. It didn't work, okay? Hopefully that's a story that, I don't know, our kids can remember and stuff. But, okay, there you have it. Sorry, I mean, I'm sure that rant of mine was very all over the place. Like I said, this is not something I was ready to cover today. I was sitting on the couch. I just finished my recordings for the day. I was going to relax for the night. And then I go on Snapchat and I see someone, I first found on Snapchat. It was like someone posted on their story, they just tried to shoot Trump. And I was like, that has to be a joke, right? I go on Twitter. It was real. This is indeed what happened. And wow. Okay. So let's give you the breaking news updates, though, because I want to know the official story of what happened. I know everyone else does. So Mike Crispy, who's a good friend of mine, is reporting that from a source in Pennsylvania law enforcement, the shooter who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been killed by Pennsylvania State Police. Okay, so this is sources reporting on the ground. Newswire is reporting at least one dead after a shooting at the Trump rally from the county prosecutor. And so that seems to me to be a confirmation, right? That what happened here, yes, is that it was a shooter, right? Because, I looked at it. I wasn't sure, it seemed like that, but I don't want to report anything that doesn't seem to be true, because maybe, something else. They tried to throw a firecracker. I don't know, whatever. So yes, according to the current reporting, it does seem to me there was actually a shooter here. And according to a source in Pennsylvania law enforcement, they were killed by the Pennsylvania State Police. Okay. You see CNN, a lot of people are ripping them for this headline. It says, Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Unbelievable. If you think you hate the media, you cannot hate them enough, okay? Because, and listen, to be fair to CNN, you could say, when we first saw the video, we didn't know if it was a shooting or not, or if he threw something or whatever, maybe they were shooting back. Okay, fair enough. But what happened is obviously an attempted assassination attempt, regardless of how it happened. From the very first video we saw. And the way CNN decides to frame it is to spin it to make it seem like, oh, he just fell on the stage and then he had a medical emergency. The guy was bleeding from his ear. You heard noises that obviously seemed to be gunshots. I understand, CNN, if you want to be like, okay, alleged gunshots, it appears, alleged assassination attempt. Okay, yes. In the breaking 5 minutes that we saw what happened, you could run with that aspect of the story. However, this is how you are going to frame it. Secret Service rushes him off the stage after he just falls at the rally. Is that what happened? He just fell down? If you think you despise the media, you do not despise them enough. Okay, you do not despise them enough. But, okay, sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to show that on the screen here. Might have to cut that out in the replay. But, hold on, let me scroll Twitter with my eyes so that way, graphic stuff, I know YouTube, whatever, don't want to get struck down or here or whatever, but we are obviously doing this live. And yeah, it seems to me, I'm looking at this right now, it seems to me that what you just saw, what you didn't just see, I hope, on the screen periodically, was a video of the shooter, who now appears to be dead. And apparently, I'm seeing right now, there's a picture here of that. Yeah, so we don't have a lot of confirmation. I mean, I'm kind of just staying on this live too, so we can also get, news, like tell you what's happening, because I know that, this is still a developing story, but it appears the shooter is dead. It is confirmed it is a shooter. I now have the question, though, okay, so we've established all but like 99% sure. Again, we're getting sources. They're all saying it. It seems like what happened in the video, that there was a shooter at this Trump rally. My question is, and this has to be a serious investigation now, okay? Because it's like, I'm not here to accuse anyone of anything, but the Secret Service does work for our federal government. It's technically an arm, I believe, of the executive branch, and so that is, the Biden administration. And I'm not here to blame them. I'm not saying that this is what happened. Maybe it's just a genuine security breach or something. But as someone who was literally just at the Trump rally on Tuesday in Miami, like, we need to now have the discussion of, how did a gun get into the Trump rally? Because, I mean, I'm sure many of you guys have been to a Trump speech before. There are metal detectors. They go through all your belongings. It's basically like being at the TSA. And so given all of that, and you would think that in the 21st century, after JFK, after they tried to do it to Reagan, blah, 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 that there would be very strict security protocols in place to make sure an assassination doesn't happen. How did this one random guy, as it appears to be, just get through like this, right? How did he just, end up, being able to... Apparently, it seems like, right, he snuck a gun in. From what we're seeing, he snuck a gun into the rally, opened fire on Trump, and so that does confirm he was literally this close away from, hitting Donald Trump, and he didn't. I don't know, okay? I don't know. Like I said, not here to make any accusations, but it's undeniable, though, right? A serious security breach did just happen. And it happened at a Trump rally. And, that's all that really I'm going to say. Like, I think if you're Trump, again, not knocking Secret Service, like, I don't know what happened. Okay, so I'm not going to make a comment on it. But maybe, it might be time to look at also, like, Secret Service on top of some type of private security detail. I really have no idea. But, all right, scrolling Twitter, here's some more. Michael Knowles did tweet this out. It says, "It takes more than that to kill a bull moose," which is a Teddy Roosevelt quote, if you know the history there. He was giving a campaign speech, and I believe it was 1912. I forget which election cycle it was. But he was giving a speech, and he got shot, I believe twice, right? He got shot, like, in the chest, and, they got the shooter or whatever. But instead of stopping his speech, he continued. He finished his entire speech while he was literally bleeding. Okay, so yes, I guess in some ways that certainly is a Teddy Roosevelt moment. Elon Musk just tweeted out, "Last time America had a candidate this tough was Teddy Roosevelt," and yes, that is true. Let me retweet that. Actually, the history there does basically line up, folks. So that is that is true. Red Eagle Politics points out, "It has nearly been an hour and Biden hasn't said a word about the president of the United States, of the United States, barely surviving assassination. Same guy who said, 'We're done with the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye,' 5 days ago." Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know. It tells you everything you need to know. Okay. Classy as always from Joe Biden. By the way, remember when he ran on saying that he was going to unite the country? Yeah. And, the great danger of this also, let me just say this out here right now, okay? Obviously, I'm glad that President Trump is okay? But, the issue with this too is, and now I think you really have to ramp up security. And again, just to be clear, not encouraging this, obviously disavow, but, the moment this like an attempted assassination happens, now you have to really beef up security of all the politicians, right? Because now you have to imagine there's going to be people who want to do copycat situations. Okay. So, let it be said that, like, make sure, I would say to all our politicians in America, to Trump, to Biden, to the Democrats, to the Republicans, to the independents, have to ensure safety, truly. And that's about all I'm going to, say on that front. But I know that we did get a couple of super chats here, and I appreciate the support tonight, guys. I mean, I appreciate certainly the super chats. I'm not here to, like, grift for super chats when obviously this just happened, but I'm sure many of you guys do want to share your thoughts, so I will read some of the ones we do have here. PHUCK Authority donates $20 to the super chat saying, I am pissed. And yeah, I mean, I think that is most Americans right now. Thank you for the $20. Appreciate it. Trevor Hints for $2 says, mainstream media will probably blame Trump for this. Well, they're going one step further. They're acting like an assassination attempt, which is now essentially confirmed. That's what happened. Did not happen, apparently, So, yeah, I mean, listen. The media has been the enemy of the people, okay? 100%. But, and by the way, okay, just to be clear, because it's a very heated moment, that is not calling for the harassment or violence against them. I'm just saying, politically speaking, yes, they are not on our side, okay? It doesn't mean, I have to say that now, because, again, when this happens, this is where you are as a country. So let me be clear. I disavow all violence against the media, against any political figure, right? Like, that shouldn't happen in a country that includes against Democrats, etc. Let me just make that clear. But yeah, I think you read that CNN article and you say, that's not the way you should be covering an attempted assassination. Okay, let me just say it that way, all right? Without, inciting or encouraging anything, because this is not where we want to be as a country. But Puncher Bear for $5 says that Harry Sisson, thank you for the super chat. I'm not, Puncher Bear, thank you for the 5. I'm not going to quite go there, right? Because I actually, well, yeah, he did say the thing about the, Supreme Court immunity case. But, I'm just going to say I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there, okay? Because, he was trying to very dishonestly, in total fairness here, he was trying to explain his take on the presidential immunity Supreme Court ruling. Now, it was a totally ridiculous take, and conservatives are right for saying, whoa, what were you meaning there? But, I'm not going to directly say that, like, Harry's tweet is the one that was inspiring all of this, right? Because I understand he was trying to say this is what the Supreme Court immunity case was saying. And like I said, part of the reason I'm saying that is not to defend Harry Sisson. I'm saying it because, genuinely, we got to bring down the temperature right now, okay? So, because I don't want this to be flipping in the reverse. And by the way, it's not going to help anyone if it flips in the reverse, like this type of stuff. So, again, just I personally am not going to go there, okay? I'm not going to go there. A friendly medic for $10, thank you very much, says, this is giving me 1936 Spain vibes. Stay alert and safe, everyone. Yeah, for sure. Stay safe. Absolutely. Small grading guy for $5 says, of course, NJF is grifting for... Look, we don't have to make it about him right now. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Like, this is about the president. This is not about internet drama I have with someone. So, thank you for the 5. I'm not going to touch that. Okay? Not going to touch that. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the commentary from you guys. And, obviously, I'll probably go back to a live chat for a second to, read your guys' thoughts and, what's all going on here. But let me keep scrolling Twitter and checking the breaking news, because obviously I think all of us are trying to get a better read on the full story of what happened. So MSNBC, as of 2 minutes ago, is reporting that law enforcement is concerned the attack on Trump may have been a serious attempt on the former president's life, from MSNBC. You think? I mean, gee, you really think so? I think it's pretty evident that that's what happened. It certainly is. But You know, I mean, like, I understand the whole, like, we want to wait for all the facts to come out. I really do understand that. But let's be honest. I mean, this is undeniably what happened. But yeah, Johnny Maga tweets out, an inch away, God was shielding Trump, plain and simple. That is plain and simple. I mean, I really don't have an explanation for it either, other than that, right? Which is, look how close it came. You know, God bless. I mean, truly thank you, God, as well. Okay. Red Eagle Paula. So this is from the Spectator Index. Apparently, a county prosecutor says 2 people died at the Trump rally, including the suspect. Okay. So this suggests, obviously, the suspect got killed, but apparently this sick terrorist piece of crap, right? Not only did he, you know, himself go down, but it seems like there might have been a casualty as well, right? Whether that's the shooter, like the bullet that grazed hit someone else, or Secret Service might have hit someone else in the ensuing shootout, because, you know, you're in this crowd here. But either way, I would say the assassinator, the attempted assassinator here, is not only responsible for, you know, his own death in this case, but it would seem to me he took someone else with him, right? Which is very unfortunate and very tragic. So prayers to whoever the second victim here is and their families. And, you know, what a sick, evil bastard, truly, because, you know, he was trying to get President Trump. He obviously failed to do so, but it would seem that he now took an innocent person with him as well. You know, again, I just pray for their family on that one. This is just truly a insane situation. Okay. And I'll be honest, like, you can tell I have like a lot of adrenaline in my body right now. I know my thoughts are not the most collected, but, you know, like, this is not something I really ever thought I would see in my lifetime. You know, as a kid, I learned about, hey, there was an attempt against Reagan, right? But I just always figured, especially post 9/11, you know, all the security protocols are in place. It's just not really possible for them to do something like this. But as you can see, yeah, no, you cannot, I guess, escape the evils of this world in this sense. No, I mean, this danger obviously is still very real. And, you know, it's especially crazy I was at the last Trump rally, folks. I was at the one just this Tuesday, and, you know, it's like, it's sort of a moment for me. That's why there's so much adrenaline right now. Like, wow, you were just there. Like, you were just there. And then this, so, you know, on so many levels, it's just, again, total and complete insanity. All right. It's pure insanity. But I'm going to keep scrolling the timeline here so we can get more developing news on this situation. Actually, I am not sure if I mentioned this yet. So this is just in at 6:44 p.m. So that is about almost an hour ago. From Trump spokesperson Stephen Chung, who went out and said that President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. And so, again, as of almost an hour ago, according to the Trump spokesperson, he's fine. And that's the good news. Okay. Like, thank God, truly. Obviously, it's still a great tragedy what appears to have happened to the other person that either directly or indirectly was killed by the suspect. But, you know, obviously, thank God that President Trump is safe, right? And, you know, it seems like so long as it's true that all that happened is that bullet whizzed past his ear, I mean, I'm sure he'll be fine, right? And I guess that's the good news. That's the silver lining of the situation. But, like, man, that's gotta be just something that's, like, you gotta wonder what President Trump is thinking at the moment, you know? He was literally an inch away from being killed, you know? And that's truly, like, that's divine providence. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. That's divine providence. And of course you have people like this, okay? 55 likes, by the way, from Real Democrat Jat, I think is his name on Twitter here. He says it looks staged. Okay, so this is apparently the take from some characters. I don't even feel like I should be addressing them right now because, like, you know, the situation is bigger than stupid comments on the internet. But truly, if that's going to be the blue and on take on this, that it was a staged assassination attempt. Yeah, 2 people are confirmed dead by the county prosecutor. You know, Secret Service, Trump was bleeding from the ear, but apparently this is like the WWE, like Trump just staged this whole thing so that he would look. I'm gonna bite my tongue on what I'm gonna say towards these people, but let me just say, like, not good. Okay, not good. Like, there's things I want to say, and if you go to my Twitter, you can see, like, my actual take on responding to this guy. But like, again, all right, we're just gonna bite our tongue on the response there. But you have 55 likes on this comment. I'm sure you're gonna see a lot more people saying this. These people are removed from reality. Okay. You know, they call us conspiracy theorists and stuff all the time. Now their take is that it was staged. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay? And I know Twitter is for free speech, but truly I think if these other big tech platforms are gonna, you know, talk about conspiracies and how we're gonna ban the spread of them, ban the spread of that. Because that actually is a dangerous conspiracy. It really is. Is that, hey, assassination attempt on the president, whatever the motive, who you think did it, how it happened, it wasn't real. Are you freaking kidding me? It was staged. Trump set that up himself. Not serious people, okay? Absolutely not serious people. But anyways, a friendly medic for $5, thank you very much, says, I'm worried that someone might retaliate. Pray that this doesn't escalate. And yes, that is my prayer as well, right? Is that, like, we just, Trump is okay, right? Obviously, it's a tragedy because it seems like someone innocent died, but that's it, right? As a country, like, no one tries to do it back, no nothing. But you know, that definitely is a concern, okay? And you know, for the record, I don't want that to happen, okay? So, and anyone out here like watching this who is, you know, maybe they support Trump, they're infuriated by what happened, don't do anything stupid. I mean that seriously, okay? And by the way, like, you're not going to be doing any good by doing that, okay? So that's my concern as well. And by the way, let me, like, from an objective standpoint, if that did happen, the media, what would the media do, right? They would totally ignore what happened to Trump and then blame all 74 million Trump voters for what the actions of a crazy person might be. So I'm just praying that that's just not what happens at all, right? Let's just pray it doesn't go there, all right? You know, and I certainly think for both Trump and Biden, and RFK, by the way, who, let's not forget, Biden has denied Secret Service protection from, all the candidates in this race, okay? And really just politicians in general at the current moment, right? Make sure they are safe, right? Up the security, do everything you need to do. You know, if you need more complicated TSA scanners at the rallies, do all that, because this is very concerning. It's a very concerning situation for sure. Mockingbird, thank you very much, or Mockingbird for 10 SGD on what, I'm not sure what currency that is, but thank you for the 10, says, Joe is getting ready for bed. Please have some empathy, Vince. I mean, I understand. Yes, that is true. That is true. But it's not Biden who would write that press release anyway. I mean, it's the team. He has writers that do this stuff for him. So that's still not an excuse. That's still not an excuse. Okay. Which, in fact, I mean, let us check currently what is going on Joe Biden's Twitter, because yeah. So very classy from the president, as always. He has not tweeted in 3 hours. And he says, last tweet was, thanks for the warm welcome. Don't worry, I got my Motown is Joetown sign. So, you know, talking about the campaign. Fair enough, but you're not going to say anything? You're not going to say anything in response to what is breaking out right now, like in your country? I mean, so I go to Joe Biden's other account, right? This is his governmental account. Has not said anything about it. Joe Biden, you are the leader of this country. Your political opponent in the presidential race just survived an assassination attempt. It's almost been an entire hour. Actually, I think it's now been more than an hour, okay? You're not going to say anything? Are you freaking kidding me? And listen, okay, I understand maybe, they're waiting, Big Vince, because they want to make sure they can confirm what happens. Fair enough. But you could at least say, like, you hope President Trump is okay. Is that fair enough, right? You hope he's doing okay, right? Political violence shouldn't be tolerated in America, regardless of what actually happened and what the true story is. That, that'd be an acceptable response from Joe. But apparently we can't get any. We can't get any. And you know what the excuse is going to be? It's going to be, they were waiting for all the facts to develop. No, they were not. No, they were not, okay? Because you could put out something right now 100%. Right? Even before the facts develop. At least say you hope Trump is okay and political violence is not acceptable. And then we find out the details. But just unbelievable. All right? If Joe Biden, as the president of America, could not be discredited anymore, the lack of response right now, in my opinion, really does tell you everything you need to know. It's just unbelievable. It's totally ridiculous. Okay? So we're getting some conflicting reporting here. Charlie Kirk puts out that the shooter is reportedly... No. Same reporting. The shooter is reportedly dead, and one attendee is dead, and another is in serious condition, according to the Butler County DA. So not only did the shooter kill someone else who wasn't Trump, either directly or indirectly. And obviously, and now from what it seems, he missed his shots. So yes, but he killed one person. Another person is in serious condition right now. So certainly, say a prayer for that person and their recovery here, because they are innocent in this. They had nothing to do with the assassination attempt. They're not Donald Trump, right? They're not the police, right? They were just an innocent bystander here, and, let's pray that they're okay and they make a full recovery, because obviously, that it's a tragic situation. But yeah, we're still waiting. There's not a single tweet from President Biden right now, or a statement or anything. So let me tune in and see, maybe there's a live press conference or something right now. Okay. Now from what it is looking like right here, this apparently seems to be this is what was going on the stage, right? So you heard this noise. It sounded like a gunshot was a little bit silenced. This may be a picture of the Secret Service or police officer taking out the shooter. I'm not exactly sure. Obviously, I'm trying to avoid graphic content on YouTube because but this does appear to be the current situation right now. So again, prayer for President Trump. But all right, I'm seeing. Okay, folks. So I just saw a video come across my timeline, and let me say, I don't know if this is real or not. Okay, like we're trying to corroborate this right now. But from what it appears, because I remember I was asking the question, how the heck did a shooter get into the Trump rally? Well, it looks to me, from what I'm looking at in this video, I cannot show it, but from what I'm seeing on Twitter, it looks like the shooter is on top of a like a house, right? He's on top, or a storage trailer or something, and it looks like maybe he had a rifle or something, maybe with a scope on it. I'm not exactly sure, obviously, but it seems like maybe that could be how the guy tried to pull it off, right? Again, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if this is real right now. We're still trying to figure this out. But just reporting right now, that is a video that is obviously too graphic to show, but that is a video that I did see just now on Twitter. So I might consult the live chat and see if you guys are hearing the news, or maybe you know more about what's happening here. But let me tune in maybe to the News Nation, or, a 24-hour live news channel, and see if we can get some potential coverage here, and figure out, what exactly is going on here. Because I'm just scrolling currently on Twitter, but the news anchors might know a little more than me.
Against
so
President
let's take a
Trump,
listen.
a bullet grazing, it appears, his ear. The president is good, as you can see. He is good to go and walked off under his own power. But as you can see, his ear getting grazed by a bullet. as he was whisked away by Secret Service. I can only imagine what's happening in the minds of the family members of the individual who was killed, who did take this would-be assassin's bullet, and what that family must be going through tonight, and asking themselves some very pointed questions. What kind of country do we live in, run by an establishment that would create an atmosphere like this?
Yeah.
And those individuals who are in that family probably wondering, what does it all mean? Let me bring in Greg Kelly. Greg.
So yeah, folks. And if you are just joining us, I should probably do this because this is breaking news. Yeah, if you're just joining us on stream, President Trump seemingly just survived a assassination attempt on, or not seemingly, it's basically confirmed at this point. Yeah, just survived an assassination attempt. As you can see here, he was walked off the stage, but before he did so, he literally pointed his fist to the crowd and was like, "I'm okay. Takes more than that to stop an orange tank." And that is, very true. As you can see here, actually, I didn't see this. He puts his fist up again. So, like I said, okay, there is a lot of bad, but one silver lining in this situation, yes, 100%, is the fact that the guy they tried to get, the president, and the next president of this country, he, not only is he going to be okay, and again, that's not to downplay the innocent victims who it seems were killed by this shooter. Obviously not, and that's a great tragedy, and I wish that the situation would have ended in that not happening, right, and ended in, the assassination, the assassinator got taken down, and that was it. But like you have to admit that is a little bit inspirational, right? You can see here, he tried to he points and says he's okay, goes off to the car, and it appears at the current moment that President Trump is perfectly okay, and it seems like he's going to be fine. But yeah, again, I will reiterate, make sure to say a prayer for the president right now, because as you can clearly see, people are out to get him. People are truly out to get him. 2 supposedly dead. This is a post about the shooter. Yes. We have reported that. So apparently, currently, one of the dead is the shooter, and the other is some innocent bystander who doesn't seem like I've seen so far that he was caught on video. So that's or he or she, I should say. So we don't know who it is at the current moment or where they were standing, but obviously whoever it is, prayers to the victim of the shooter. And if it was law enforcement, then, prayers to the victim of that law enforcement. But I have to imagine, right, if the current theory seems to be true, that he was standing on an elevated surface and he fired out and tried to hit Trump, then you'd probably have to imagine that someone behind him or next to him or around him was hit, right, in the crowd. But we don't know at the current moment, right? It might have been Secret Service. There was a shootout, right? We're still trying to get these facts at the current moment. But let's tune into Newsmax some more and see if anything's being said that I haven't broken yet.
Just in the last 24, 28 hours. So we don't know. I don't know much about who has done this shooting. But this former president has been impeached twice, has been the subject of charges that are certainly questionable. And it's come to this. We have to, as a nation, as a country, lower the level of hate and hate speech that we have heard in this presidential campaign.
I totally agree.
It's just
totally
so
agree, Commissioner Kelly. We have a bit of information. We're getting this from Pennsylvania police sources.
Okay, breaking news.
They believe that President Trump was not struck by a bullet. but that a bullet may have hit the glass teleprompter shield, and that glass shattered, and that is actually what impacted President Trump's face and ear. But these were real bullets, and they hit at least 2 people on the stage, and possibly more. By the way, I know I had a similar injury in Iraq. It was a shrapnel injury. It's no joke, and I'm sure no one to minimize the teleprompter glass. This was an assassination attempt. It is so clear. You have any observations about the Secret Service response? You know, of course, what you saw, did it appear like standard? And let me ask you this also. You know, President Trump on January 6th, he spoke to a large crowd behind a bulletproof glass, which kind of makes a lot of sense to me. We don't see a bulletproof glass there. We don't see bulletproof glass actually at any of his rallies.
We might have to start doing that, unfortunately. I think for all, at least for the next couple of years, because this just happened, all the politicians, right? You need one behind Trump. You need one in front of Biden, in front of Trump too, I should say, and I guess behind as well. But
and it's also interesting to note that Robert Kennedy, whose father and uncle were assassinated, has not been given civil Secret Service protection by this administration. That has to be changed.
yeah, I mean, and that's a true point too, is I'm not trying to politicize this in the current moment, but it's undeniably a fact, okay? I don't support RFK in the election, obviously, but the Biden White House specifically denied him Secret Service protection, which is something that is usually granted as a formality to all major presidential candidates, especially at this point in the race. Biden's White House personally rubber stamped saying, no, you do not get Secret Service protection. The reason RFK gave is he submitted a long list of reasons why, you know, the credible threats against him. Hey, you know, here's why. And by the way, it's common sense, right? Because we know there's a lot of crazy, just use your common sense. There's a lot of crazy people out there. Someone took out Kennedy. Someone took out, Robert Kennedy, John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy. And, you have another Kennedy running for president. Some crazy person out there, you'd have to imagine, wants to do the same thing, right? And knowing this fact, which is, again, common sense, but according to RFK, he submitted 30 pages worth of reports on the credible threats against his life. Biden still said no. You know, again, in this current moment, I'm not here to get political about it. However, that has undeniably been a mistake so far. And if Biden going forward doesn't just say, okay, fine, take the Secret Service protection, you need it, then, we know where he stands. I guess we'll say. We know where he stands. It's just unbelievable. Apparently, again, if you're just joining us, if you did not hear that first part of the reporting there, so apparently they're now saying from the sources in the DA's office that it appears it's not a bullet that hit Trump, but the bullet hit the teleprompter glass, and the glass shattered, obviously, and it's the shrapnel that grazed his ear. So that is the current reporting at the moment. Again, we are not exactly sure, but they are also saying that real bullets were fired, and that is what tragically killed at least one person and may have hit or killed many more in the crowd. Okay? So I don't know what to say on that front. Like, obviously, I'm glad that Trump is okay, but the poor people, they're innocent in this, and because some sick, evil, twisted demon, wanted to inflict political violence, now at least one innocent person, it appears, has tragically passed away. Was tragically killed, I should say. So, just overall a horrible situation, okay? And I don't want to make it about too much politics or any of that in the current moment, but, tomorrow will come in America, and this is going to have very big implications. But okay, apparently, I think Newsmax, the guy on the ground is talking right now. So let's see.
Weapons or whatnot, and it was all focused to that side. I did see what I thought to be blood on the bleachers, to where the shots looked like they came from, and to where that scrum was going on. And then the crowds, they got on the intercom and they said, you got to go, everybody's got to clear out, and everybody started clearing out, and we tried to get on air as soon as we could, and we did, and that's the latest now. Everyone's been leaving, Greg, and you can see behind me, this was the row of all the Trump memorabilia. What a day. What a fun day we were having here in Western Pennsylvania, Greg. As you know, I'm from here. I grew up about an hour and 20 minutes away, and this was a great day for Western PA. The crowd was huge. I haven't seen a crowd covered a lot of Trump rallies. I haven't seen one like this. It was enormous. And to have it end like this, obviously it's awful. It's awful they tried to kill President Trump. It's just awful for the country, period. What happens next? Where do we go next? Where are things going to go? No one knows. It's a new country now. So, but that's the way it unfolded, Greg.
Bob, thank you so much. We're glad you were there. Glad you're safe and the president is safe. I have a statement from the campaign.
Okay.
This just came in. President Trump thanks law enforcement and first responders for their quick action during this heinous act. He is fine and is being checked out at a local medical facility. More details will follow. That's from Stephen Chung, Trump spokesperson. And Bob, if you're still with me, can you just tell me how far from the podium were you? You said you were right in front of it. How many feet would you estimate were you from the president?
Well, we were on the risers, the press risers. So we were about maybe 75 yards away, right in front. I mean, I was looking right at him, and you hear this shot, and you kind of see, like, I don't know what I saw, like maybe a bullet whizzing by, and it just, everybody froze, and then pop, 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 pop. You heard the other ones, and then we ducked down. We were under attack, so we ducked down and tried to get safety. Once it stopped, then, but again, I'll never forget that moment my entire life. It's one for the history books, when President Trump stood up and fist pumped the crowd. I've never, obviously this doesn't happen every day. I've never experienced anything like that. We all screamed. We were all cheering for him, every single one of us, fist pumping him back.
Yep. The image, Bob, it kind of looks like the Marines on Iwo Jima with that flag. I think it is going to go down in history. What an iconic moment, and maybe it's too early for that. We're again just.
No, it's not too early for that. It's really not too early for that. That is true. That is real, right? And I think, in so many ways, like, that photo is a metaphor, I guess, for the country, or for the, the state of the American patriot, or, our very resilience as a country itself, right? I'm sure it'll be a statue one day, because here you are, right? Here we are. Yes, we're cut, we're bleeding, we're injured, and maybe it's a metaphor for us in the current moment, right? But we're on our feet, right? And we're standing strong, So I'm sure some classless idiot is going to clip that from Newsmax and say, they're comparing it to Iwo Jima. But no, in many ways, I think that is completely true. Like, this is an inspirational image that is going to, be plastered in the walls of American history forever. And it's going to inspire people. It inspires me even in this current moment. It's like, because there's just so much about that, right? There's so much about that image, There's like America in the 15th round, It's in a brawl of a fight, you're injured, but it's like Rocky, you're still on your feet. Like that. That's what this is. That's what this is. Okay? And never fear, because good is going to defeat evil in the end. Justice, virtue, righteousness wins in the end. On so many levels. Okay? But let me see. I know we got a couple super chats here. I don't want to forget them. I mean, obviously, like I said, this stream not about the super chats. In fact, I don't know if I can do this because I don't know if it's legal. Like, I got to investigate FEC stuff, but if I can clear it, you know, I'm thinking I might donate the proceeds from this stream to the Trump campaign, or maybe, you know, half and half or whatever it is. I'll figure out, and I gotta look if it's like legal to like say that publicly or whatever. So I'm researching whether or not that's okay, because I know campaign finance, you know, is it an unofficial fundraiser, whatever. But you know, I may do that. I may do that because, like I said, this stream for me, you know, not about the money or the views. Like, we're just trying to cover and bring you guys information live, and you know, that's what's happening at the moment. Okay, so again, if I can look into it, if that's allowed, then you know, I will go do that for sure. John Wick for $10 says Trump did kind of just do a John Wick. Not to make a joke there, but the same people saying it was staged are the same ones that called Alex Jones crazy for his comments on Sandy Hook. Yeah, they're sick people, you know, they really are. Anyone who is downplaying this or trying to make a mockery out of this or trying to say that it's fake, I don't know what to say other than, you know, like I guess I'll pray for you because you are a truly lost person. But beyond that, you know, I don't know much else I can really say. You know, it's like whatever. Okay. I don't even want to make this about them right now. Like, truly. Sarah Marie for 25 NOKs says, serious people have already predicted everything. And that is unfortunately true. Videomaker for $2, good to see you again, by the way, says, praying for President Trump. Yeah, we all are in this current moment. It seems from the video they're showing on Newsmax right now that, and this is what we unfortunately expected, is that the other person or people that were hit were probably the ones standing behind Trump, you know, in that little part of the rally there. And I'm not sure exactly how it works, but from what I've seen from Trump rallies this time around, I believe many of these people are, you know, campaign staffers, usually I'm not sure, but I believe so. You know, obviously whoever was hit, prayers to their family, but don't want to really show that on YouTube. But yeah, folks, that's sorry, my bad, that is a little bit graphic. All right, apparently this is new video.
Another victim in people. They're blood-stained, regular people with their shirts stained with blood in the aftermath of this horrible event. Wow. Bob, sorry about that, but this is a pretty key piece of video.
Okay.
Tell us more, if you don't mind. What's happening right now?
So the crime scene investigation, immediately after Trump had left and the apparent the threat was neutralized, they roped off that area in crime scene tape where the shots came from, and then everybody had to leave. We're on the risers, Greg, and we had to leave most of our equipment. We took just enough so we could get our live shots out, but they were like, you got to go. Everyone's got to go right now. This is a crime scene. Secret Service agents, they came through. Everybody had to go. Everybody had to leave the fairgrounds. And as we're walking out, agents all over the place. And I saw a medevac going off. I don't know if that was for former President Trump. I have no idea. But that.
Let me just say, because I'm just watching this video right now, and maybe it's advice that could save someone's life today, or not today, but in the future. If you're ever in this situation, guys, if you're ever in a mass shooting or something, like, I'm saying this for our audience because I care about you guys, and like, obviously, like I said, maybe I say this and one day someone's life is saved because they remember what was said. I don't know. But if you're ever in this situation, you see everyone like standing up here, and if you're in a position like this, don't stand up, guys. You probably want to be honestly underneath the bleachers, okay? If you know there's an active shooting going on and you're in a crowd like this. Now, if you're in some type of tight building, you probably don't want to get on the ground because you might be trampled, but maybe run with your head down. But I'm not saying it to, like, you know, mock anyone or anything like that. I'm just saying that because I watch this video right now. It's a dangerous world out there. Just I'm just saying this so that way, keep this in mind in case anyone ever is in a situation like this, right? Is if you're in this position where you don't think you're going to get trampled, obviously, probably, yeah, I get it. In this case, the shooting has stopped, but you don't know if there's other shooters or whatever. You definitely don't want to be standing up, okay? Maybe below the bleachers if you can. If not, at least try to sit like that. But, just something I'm going to point out. And obviously, I'm sure some of these people are standing because they want to help the person who was shot. And so that is noble, obviously. But just general advice, okay? And I just say that because, look, the reality is there's a lot of violence in the world. So, I could pretend like that never happens, but just saying it. So hopefully, again, maybe if any of you are ever in a situation like this, maybe that's a little extra thought in your head that saves your life. Just pointing it out. But let's see. I think they're live now with this.
Up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see them, but we could hear them. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots rang out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes?
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes?
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was...
Okay, so according to this eyewitness account that you're listening to right now, I know it's kind of hard to hear maybe, but so I guess how this happened again, because I was wondering how they get a gun in the rally. So it looks like someone was on top of a barn, and I'm sure they had a rifle with a scope or something, and they were in a position where they were able to obviously see the president, right? And see the rally going on. And this guy apparently is saying he was, I think, on top of another barn, like he lived in a neighborhood or something, or whatever's going on here, trying to wave at Secret Service and maybe calling them and saying, look, there's a guy on the stage with a rifle. And the guy says that this guy was on top of this roof for 2 to 3 minutes, and then finally shots rang out, okay? So if what he's saying here is true, and I'm not even saying he's lying, but obviously, sometimes crazy situations like this, maybe the timeline, you didn't quite get it right or whatever, but saying that this is true, then yeah, that's a total security breach on Secret Service's part. Because my understanding or my thought is that Secret Service, they always have snipers everywhere when the president is speaking. They're watching everything. You'd have to imagine, think about it for a second. You're doing this Trump rally outside in a place where there's a lot of barns, there's a lot of elevated surfaces, where yes, look, take a look at this, for instance. I don't know exactly where the shooter was, but take a look. Let me see if I can get my mouse here. Yeah, okay. So you see, this is the rally going on right here. What is this building over here, right? I don't know what it is, a barn or something. I know it's in the middle of farmland. But, you'd have to imagine, if you're Secret Service, if you're doing the security detail here, it's like, we're doing this rally in this big field where there are elevated surfaces like barns for people to get on, First of all, I would say probably shouldn't have done it like this in the first place, right? And that's not Trump's fault. That's Secret Service. Secret Service is supposed to be the one that clears the security and all that. So that already, to me, is like a big risk, obviously, right? But then, you know, on top of that, apparently this guy, according to the Eyewitness, the shooter is there for 2 to 3 minutes, and you don't have Secret Service with snipers scanning the whole 360-degree view of the rally constantly? Right? And apparently this guy, okay, you know, big hero, if what he's saying here is what happened, right? He is trying to signal to Secret Service, there's a shooter, there's a shooter, there's a shooter. And Secret Service didn't, until like 5 or 6 at least shots were fired, that's when Secret Service managed to find this guy? That is unbelievable, okay? That is a serious breach in security, all right? So let me just say going forward, all right? Every Trump rally needs to be indoors, okay? I mean, I think that's common sense. And if you're going to do it outside, you don't do it somewhere where people apparently can just get on top of their houses and, you know, try to shoot at you, right? And, you know, I've always been of the opinion that, like, indoor Trump rallies were better to begin with. But now it's a necessity. It's a security risk, right? Because anytime you do it outdoors, as you can clearly tell, people can get on elevated surfaces. People have an outside view. At least if you do it in an arena, right? Like a basketball stadium or something. At least if you do it that way, everyone who goes in has to go through security. They have to be metal detected. There's nothing really someone from the outside can do to get a shot in, right? And if they're going to shoot at the building, it probably won't even penetrate all that concrete, first of all. But even if it does, they don't know what they're shooting. It's an impossible task, really, right? So, you know, that's just something I guess I would keep in mind. And you can see this guy, he was saying, like, hey, are they going to intervene? Are they going to, you know, why is Trump still speaking? You know, it's an unbelievable situation. All right. Wow.
All right, some serious questions being raised by that man about security and whether it was adequate, whether when and how the sniper was spotted. Hey, we should point out that President Biden has issued a statement we mentioned a moment ago. Katrina, yes. What does he have to say?
Okay, we finally got a Biden statement over an hour after the fact. Okay.
He said, I've been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear that he is safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There is no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. Greg, very powerful words.
So look, okay, I have no criticisms of Biden's statement. I do criticize that it took that long to put it out, okay? But, you know, I'm like, really, this is a moment where we have to de-escalate the temperature. The material of the statement is fine. I just wish Biden could have put it out a little bit sooner, okay? And not waited almost 2 hours, you know? But, okay, you know what? Fair enough. At least he said that, okay? Because, again, the content matter there, fine with me, but...
Yes, and now actually, if I want to see this again, we're going to go to the moment where the shots started to ring out and President Trump was hit. He's mid-speech, and then something happens.
That's a little old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to...
Again, I don't know if it's like too graphic for YouTube to show. I mean, they're showing it on Newsmax, but you know, you guys have seen the video. Okay, you guys have seen the video, so I'm not. You know, I mean, I don't know if I want to like keep replaying it anyway, right? Because it's just not something that. The part where he shows his fist up, like that's gangster, like that's amazing. But do we want to keep playing the video of the attempted assassination itself? I mean, it you know, to some degree. It almost becomes like sports, like it's instant replay. Like I don't want to get involved in that type of stuff. So, all right, check this out. Anna Kasparian just put out that And props to her, by the way. She says, those alleging that someone shooting at Trump today was staged with zero evidence are loathsome, disgusting people who play a big role in tearing this country apart. Imagine providing cover for horrific political violence. Beyond shameful. And, props to Anna for saying that, because a lot of Democrats are literally out there doing that right now on Twitter. Okay. And that is a fact. And apparently someone told me in the MSNBC live chat, that's like all they're seeing right now. Is either that or they're saying something even crazier than that, which is, right? So, yeah, folks, again, if you are just joining us just 10 minutes ago, Joe Biden finally puts out a statement saying, I have been briefed on the shooting at Donald Trump's rally in Pennsylvania. I'm grateful to hear he's safe and doing well. I'm praying for him and his family and for all those who were at the rally as we await further information. Jill and I are grateful to the Secret Service for getting him to safety. There's no place for this kind of violence in America. We must unite as one nation to condemn it. Andy McCarthy tweets out, breaking news, Trump will be at the UFC fight tonight. I don't know. I don't think that's true, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pretty sure that guy's just like joking, because like Teflon Don, he's bulletproof, he's invincible. But that is from Andy McCarthy. I don't think that's true. I'm going to speculate that's not true. But yeah, if you're curious, I guess here's the full interview of the guy who allegedly tried to stop the Trump assassination attempt. And again, if this is true, then this guy is a American hero, truly. But this Trump supporter claims he and others saw the shooter before the assassination attempt, alerted the police and Secret Service, and were ignored. So that's what this guy is saying. All right, so let's take a listen.
Event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him.
Can you guys hear okay?
So
I know it.
And probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea.
Might be a little quiet. Hopefully you guys can hear.
We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful, because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
That's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. I mean, we saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. No, I mean, it was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it.
Which seems to be correct, because there's no way that, you have a handgun, obviously, at that range, so...
No, sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So, how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
Are you outside the security perimeter?
Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But my question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not at every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions, I think, that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Trump flag on the horse?
Yes, she was right in front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
I mean, nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, he asked me if I saw a horse.
Okay. All right, well, listen, I'm sorry you had to witness that. It was a terrible thing. And you just stay safe with your family and look after yourself. Thanks for your time.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a valid question, 100%. I mean, why do you not have Secret Service on the top of every rooftop with sniper rifles, scanning the periphery? I thought that's what they were doing, honestly. I figured that would be common sense. So that's a real question I have to have, and I'm not here to push any conspiracy theories about it, but how did Secret Service allow this to happen? We need to have a genuine talk about this, right? Not just for the sake of Trump, but also the sake of Biden and the sake of, American politicians and the safety in this country in general. If you are doing, all right, this is a logistical question I have, honestly. If you are doing an outdoor rally this looks like a small farm town, right, to me, a small town in the middle of the country, right? And that surrounding the open field where you're doing this rally, probably fairgrounds or something, it seems like, there are a bunch of buildings. There are a bunch of elevated surfaces, right? So that someone like Lee Harvey Oswald, for instance, can look out their window and see the rally, all right? First of all, I don't know why you're not thinking that's not a secure enough place. This is the 21st century. It's an American president. We got to be more careful than that. Let's find a different venue. But if you are going to run the risk of doing this venue, again, completely valid question. Why do you not have Secret Service snipers on every rooftop surrounding, looking around? Because according to this guy right here, he was saying, there's a guy with a rifle. He's right here. He's trying to kill the president. So, again, all right? Not spreading conspiracy theories. I'm not. So don't even misconstrue it as that. I'm just asking the genuine question here. How was that allowed to happen? You want to do congressional commissions for all this stupid BS nonsense? That in itself deserves a congressional commission. And, whoever's leading Trump's Secret Service detail right now, at the very least, that guy needs to be investigated. They need to, at least talk to him, right? If not, maybe fire him, okay? Because, again, a million questions to be had here. But yeah, according to this guy, he literally saw this guy setting up his gun and was saying, hey, And Secret Service did nothing until Trump was grazed in the ear, we're being told, with shrapnel. And on top of that, at least one innocent person in the crowd is tragically dead. So, again, a real security failure here, in my opinion. Absolutely insane stuff. Yeah, it is insane stuff, folks. It's an insane situation for sure. Let's see. George Milton for $10, thank you very much, says, you should look at the comments under MSNBC's live feed. They are legit crazy. I can imagine what they're saying, George Milton. yeah, I mean, those are the people we're dealing with in some of these situations. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you for the 10. If you guys want to go check, you can. I am so in the position, I don't want to give too much attention to these people right now, because that's what they want, right? The people who are going to say the most ridiculous and stupid things about it. So you know what? I kind of figure, hey, why not just ignore it, right? Like, not ignore it, but ignore them, you know? But don't forget, at the same time, yes, that is how some people actually feel. A friendly medic for $5 says this happened 4 days before the 88th anniversary of the beginning of the Spanish Civil War. Take of that what you will. Yeah, that's interesting. Thank you for the 5, a friendly medic. Yeah, that is certainly interesting, right? Vince, did you see it was an Antifa member, according to Mark Violets? Well, let's see, because I personally have not seen the ID of the shooter yet. So let me see if that's on Twitter or that's on the live news here. So let me refresh right now. Okay, folks, apparently it is real. Donald Trump will still be attending tonight's UFC fight. Apparently it's real. Because at first I saw Andy McCarthy tweet it out. I was like, oh, he's just saying, he's just memeing. No, that is real. At least that's what it seems. I'm seeing this over and over again, so we'll see. We'll see. It seems real at the current moment, though. But hold on. Let me close out of the screen. But yeah, the shooter at a Trump rally in Pennsylvania can be seen dead on the roof of a nearby building after being killed by U.S. Secret Service. And so, hold on. Let me see if there's a way I can, like, blur the screen or something. But, all right, hold on. Let me... I do want to show you guys at least the surface it looks like he was on, right? Okay, all right. So that's a good enough shot of it. So as you can see right here, this was the building that apparently the shooter was on top of, right? And again, I just have so many questions. Because if this building, I mean, like, use your common sense here, folks. If this building is in a position where he can see he has a visible tree line to the Trump rally, why is Secret Service not watching it? Or even better, why are they not on top of the building itself? That is insane. That is genuinely a huge security breach, in my opinion. Because you have to imagine, it's not like we haven't seen this story happen before in United States history, okay? If you're a president who is out in an open area in your Secret Service, for what freaking reason in the world are you not thinking, watch every elevated surface around here, right? Watch any angle where someone may be able to get a shot in? And you have to imagine this is indeed something that was discussed when they're doing the security protocol for this event. So that's my question, is how did this slip through the cracks? Just wild. So again, yeah, this is the building right here. Okay, this right here, this is the building, all right, in the video that apparently the shooter is seen being dead on top of. Okay? So, let me scroll Twitter here really quickly, but sorry, let me just type this out right now. All right, let's tune back into Newsmax and see if there's any more news on this front, folks.
We're going to bring in Pennsylvania Congressman Dan Muser. Dan, just want to get your reaction to what happened. Where were you when you heard the news, or were you there on site?
Yeah, hi, good evening. Yes, I was there. I was sitting in the front row, just to the right of President Trump. My colleague, member, Representative Mike Kelly, as well as Senate candidate Dave McCormick, we were sitting together. 6-7 minutes into President Trump's speech, we heard the gunfire, and it came out pretty fast, 5 or 6 shots at least, and then followed by 3 or 4 more. The president, after about 2 shots, grabbed his ear and hit the deck as he knew he was under fire. That's about when those in the stands and around me realized what was happening. And, of course, there was some panic. The gunfire sounded so close frankly, I just had a real feeling of anger and wanting to do something. It's sort of a helpless feeling, but very sadly, a couple of civilians were hit. One not too far from me, behind me, and my understanding is they died. They were killed. So it's a really, really serious tragedy, outrageous, and we boy oh boy, we need to do better in our society than this. That's for sure.
Congressman, have you heard anything about President Trump, his injuries or anything like that? You gave us an excellent eyewitness report. All we are hearing is we saw that he seemed to be wounded in the face. We hear that he's fine. President Biden said he's with his doctors. He's doing well. We did see that he left the stage with some difficulty, whether he was limping. He really was kind of leaning on the Secret Service, at the same time giving America a great deal of encouragement and reassurance with that fist bump. Have you heard anything along those lines?
No, but the president did. He assured, he cleared the Secret Service for a moment just to give a thumbs up to everyone that he was okay. Like I said, the Secret Service did their job. They were on the scene real fast, protecting him. And as well, I gotta give a salute to our Pennsylvania state troopers. Many were there, of course, and they responded fast. Just a great officers. So, and yes, the president was nearly assassinated. Let's face it, he got hit in the ear by rifle fire. So, or I'm not positive it was rifle, but from that distance, it must have been. And another quarter of an inch. He would have been he would have been hit severely. So we're very, very lucky. We're fortunate, and we've got to this level of lack of civility is hostility needs to be cooled down. Maybe this is an opportunity for that to happen.
Congressman Dan Muser, very well said. I think the negative and nasty and truly evil rhetoric simply needs to stop. And again, we know that President Biden is pausing all of his outgoing campaign messaging as we speak. And speaking of that, we appreciate your joining us. Glad that you are safe. And we're going to go back and listen to what President Biden said just moments ago in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware.
Folks, I've been thoroughly briefed by all the agencies.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently, we have a live Joe Biden press conference right now. So let's take a listen.
The federal government has the situation based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently, he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well. Number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Mr. President, do you think there was an assassination attempt?
Yeah, obviously.
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all.
What the hell are you talking about? All right, so far I was like, okay, fair enough. We're opponents, but yeah, that's the right thing to say. What do you mean it's not an assassination attempt? Or you're not sure. I understand what he's saying is you're not sure. But come on, Joe. The facts are all there now. Okay? This is obviously what happened. All right? Are we going to say someone was just hunting in the woods and then their bullet flew? And that's what... use your free... Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden will not comment yet on whether or not it's an assassination attempt, which you could frame as responsible. He doesn't know all the facts. We know it was an assassination attempt by now, okay? The details, you're right. Joe can say we don't know yet. We know the details.
All the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President? Was the security failing this?
That's all he had to say? That's all you have to say, Joe. Really? Really? Wow. So okay. Let me be clear about this. All right. I'm not going to go out and say that Joe Biden incited this. Okay. I think that's a dangerous place to get when it comes to free speech and all that. Okay. So I'm not saying that. All right. I'm not doing conspiracies or saying, oh, Joe Biden did this. But he does this 2-minute press conference, okay? The content of the speech, acceptable to me, okay? It's fine. Yes. We condemn political violence, terrible situation, prayers, glad he's okay. Fine. But they just walk him off the stage after that? I know our president he can't really speak. Okay, I get that. But you couldn't answer a couple questions? And then when they asked if it's an assassination attempt, you said you don't know? Like I said, okay, now's not the time to get divisive or to get political, but maybe you could have talked for longer than 30 seconds, Joe? Maybe? Or at least, brought up law enforcement or expert. They can talk for you because they know the details. Fair enough. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'm just saying. So Joe Biden gets up there, condemns political violence, says he's glad Trump's okay. Good, right? Okay, fair enough. That's what you're supposed to say as the president. Whether or not he... I'm not even going to go there, okay? Let's be classy. But he abruptly just walks off the stage. I don't know what that was.
So President Biden saying that the country has to be unified and talking about the rhetoric, the intensity of it all. We will direct him to his own role in setting the tone in this country. On July 8th, Katrina, he's quoted as saying, I have one job, and that's to beat Donald Trump. I'm absolutely certain I'm the best person to be able to do that. So we're done talking about the debate. It's time to put Trump in a bullseye. That's not exactly appropriate. That's potentially even illegal to talk that way about a president.
Yeah, there's nothing about unifying there at all. It is quite the opposite. And even when we listen to people describe former President Trump as Hitler, saying he's going to ruin democracy, saying if he gets reelected, he's going to be a dictator, he's going to get rid of the Constitution. That is the kind of rhetoric that is fear-mongering, that is vicious, and that can drive people to do crazy, horrible, horrific acts like exactly what we observed today. But I do want to point out, because, again, there are lots of reports going around, I want to tell you what we know for sure. We do know that President Trump was not hit by a bullet. The report that we have here from our newsroom at Newsmax, he was hit by glass fragments that had hit a teleprompter. We also do know, however, that the shooter is dead and also one of the rally goers is dead. And again, that's what we know. And President Biden there, Greg, said that he was not sure if it was an assassination attempt, but we do know that it is being investigated as a potential one.
All right. It's 2 hours and roughly 15 minutes ago that this happened. And we don't have all facts yet. I hate to minimize it, and we don't want to sound like we are. Glass from a teleprompter, a bullet, we believe, hit the glass. Those bullets were certainly real. Sebastian Gorka is standing by. And
yeah, anyone who is going to try to downplay it, oh, it's just glass, whatever. We're not just talking about you stepped on glass or something, or even like a car window broke in a car accident. A bullet hits glass like that, the glass shatters, that becomes shrapnel, you know? It may seem like pretty light glass, but when it's exploding and traveling at that speed, it's a pretty significant injury. So let's not downplay that, assuming, again, this is what's being reported, is that it was shrapnel from the glass, not the actual bullet that did hit President Trump. But okay, all right, this is very telling, actually. So Nick Sortor is apparently posting like pictures of like kind of what happened here, and according to Google, all right, chat, if this is true, serious questions need to be asked at Secret Service right now, okay? Because, again, this is Nick Sortor's reporting. I'm not saying it's true, you know. I mean, he usually is pretty reliable, but I'm just saying, like, assuming this is the correct information. Trump at the rally is here. The shooter is here on top of this rooftop with his rifle. How in the world, if, again, this is what happened, how was this allowed to happen? That is insane. Like, that is genuinely ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Because I talked before, I was already saying, you know, like, if you're a Secret Service, how do you not have snipers watching every rooftop? Like, first of all, let me zoom out. This, to me, doesn't seem like the best place to do one of those rallies, right? Like, you don't want to be outdoors with a bunch of unguarded, elevated surfaces. Look, I'm not Secret Service. I have zero training in private security or law enforcement, okay, for the record. But let me just say, if I was in charge of a Secret Service detail, all right? Common sense, right? We know what happened with JFK, etc. I would look at this area, first of all, and say, this is probably, first of all, too risky, because it's a giant open space. People can come from whatever road, you know, they got even the water tower over here in theory. You know, I would just stay away from this. But if we were going to do the rally here, again, common sense. Like, I know, I'm not an expert on this, so trust the experts. I'm not an expert. And there's probably a lot about Secret Service I don't know. But what I do know, and I think most of the chat would think, is, okay, imagine if you were in charge of this Trump rally. You know that there is a rooftop here. There's technically a rooftop here if someone can get on top of the water tower, at least in theory. And then you got rooftops right here. That might be a rooftop, I'm not sure. I would immediately say, if we're doing the rally here, first of all, we should just have these buildings like guarded, right? There should be Secret Service standing by the entrances. There should be Secret Service standing on the rooftops. And considering this is such a wide open space, I would also say, and I thought this is how presidential rallies work, we should have snipers, right? There should be Secret Service snipers on every elevated surface, you know, and they're watching the crowd, obviously, but they're also watching out here. They're watching around here. They're making sure nothing happens, obviously. So if this is true, if this is accurate, and again, this is Nick Sortor reporting this, that this is what from the sky view this all looked like, common freaking sense, guys. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to think, hey, see this building right here? See that Trump is right here? We're Secret Service. We're protecting a former leader of the free world and a current candidate. Shouldn't we have this rooftop secured? Shouldn't we have eyes on this rooftop? You know, so again, I'm not saying this to spread conspiracies, okay? But questions should be asked about Why did Secret Service have such a failing of security in this regard? Is that fair? Is that impartial? Because I think that's objectively true, okay? This is a security breach. Secret Service here did not do its job objectively. And by the way, according to that one eyewitness guy we reacted to, not only is this what happened, but apparently, again, let's reiterate, there's at least one, if not multiple people warning the Secret Service and the National Guard and the police and all that stuff about this. They're saying, hey, there's a shooter. Hey, look out. The shooter was apparently on this rooftop for at least 2 to 3 minutes, according to that one eyewitness that the BBC interviewed. And again, like, how was this allowed to happen? It is baffling to my mind. It is baffling to my mind. It's just unbelievable, okay? Friendly Medic for $5 says, do you think Secret Service let this happen? Thank you for the 5. Look, like I said, okay, I don't think it is responsible to speculate on this at the current moment. You know, we don't have the information, we don't know. So I'm not gonna comment on that, right? I'm just gonna say objectively, it's a failure of Secret Service. It's a security failure. And from there, we need to investigate what happened and try to find those details. Is that fair? Is that fair enough, right? You know, that's what I'll say. That's what I'll say, okay? And obviously, you can draw your own conclusions on what exactly happened here. But, you know, looking at this map, either serious negligence, malpractice, or incompetence went on here. Because this is not exactly a creative, you know, thing that happened, right? This is not some type of this is pretty straightforward, you know? In my opinion, this is preventable, right? Again, I'll say it again, right? If I were in charge of Secret Service, and most of you guys were in charge of Secret Service, this would not have happened, okay? And again, this is not to say we're security experts or like we know how to do this stuff, okay? There's a million other ways we probably aren't thinking about that there are threats to the president. But I'm just saying, looking at this situation, this one is common sense. Everyone knows what happened to JFK. You guard the rooftop. Common freaking sense. It's pretty straightforward, you know? And the fact that this did happen really has to also make you question. Has Secret Service just been like not doing its job for several years now? Because, you know, I like there's a lot of creative, you know, assassination methods that are, oh, wow, that was like, no one thought of that. There was no way to prevent that from happening. This was so out of left field. This is very basic, right? This is very straightforward. Again, like if I were in charge of Secret Service, this would not have happened. And if everyone watching this video right now was in charge of Secret Service, that would have not happened. Just because it's common sense. There's a rooftop overlooking the rally. Guard the rooftop. Obviously, right? JFK, we know the story. So the fact that they allowed this to happen really also has to make you worried that there are other threats to Trump's life and potentially maybe Biden's life too that are a lot more sophisticated and coordinated and thought out than this. And if the Secret Service with the guy standing on the rooftop with a rifle is just like, you know, their heads in the clouds, then yeah, I mean, there's got to be serious concern about this right now. Truly, there's got to be serious concern, you know? Because that's just insane. That is just purely, you know, crazy. If that guy from the rally was in charge of Secret Service, this would not have happened. Literally, I'm being so serious right now, okay? I think every single one of us on this stream, watching this stream right now, again, if you handed us tomorrow, run the Secret Service rally. Again, on many other fronts, we would not know what we are doing. But on the front of, hey, there's a rooftop right next to Donald Trump where he's going to be speaking. Guard the rooftop. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nick Sortor is saying it's 150 yards away. Yeah, common sense. Guard that. At least have eyes on it. If not, have a bunch of people at the perimeter just making sure no one gets on top of it, you know? And it's like, look at this too. So judging by the fact that there's cars in this parking lot, this is probably where parking was being done for the Trump rally. Am I not mistaken on that, right? You don't have this area secured? I just can't believe that, you know? Dre for $5 says the only way someone gets on that roof is if they were allowed to. Just saying. Dre, thank you for the $5. Like I said, you know, we are on YouTube too. So I am not here to speculate. I'm giving you the information. I'm giving you my thoughts on it, right? You know, I'm not making a comment on that. I'm just saying, here's what you can think, and, you know, draw your conclusions as you will. That's what I'm going to say, you know? But yeah, serious security breach here, right? And the best possible explanation maybe is because, hey, there hasn't been an assassination for a long time. You know, that people got lazy, they're complacent. But yes, is it, I think, fair to speculate that it is so common sense that this shouldn't have happened, where maybe people are like, well, how did it happen then? Yeah, I think that speculation is completely fair. It's completely fair, obviously. You know, I'm not a stupid person, but like I said, I don't want to, you know, over speculate on something we don't exactly know right now. But okay, apparently a shooting witness is currently live on Newsmax if we want to take a listen to this. So let's turn up the volume here and take a listen.
Blake, tell us what you witnessed. What did you see? What did you hear?
Well, the president was going over a slide on the big display board, what we call the Jumbotron, about increased immigration. And I remember looking over at that, so I wasn't watching the president directly. Then I heard some noises, and the noises seemed to register. I registered as coming them from my left, so I'm dead center in the front row, looking at the president at the podium. The sounds came from my left, where I thought they were, and I thought, is this a joke? Is this a prank? And I turned to my left to see what I could see.
Blake, we're having a tough time hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, so when I looked back at the president at the podium, his security detail was covering him actively. So at that point, it was a shooting.
He's lagging a bit here.
Blake, you're on a cell phone. If you maybe you can move 10 feet to the right or some direction where you're breaking up. We do want to hear. If you can hear me, just get over to a new position if you can and pick it up where you left off.
Yeah, I'm still at the venue, and I imagine this is probably part of the reason for the bad. Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I'm standing out in the field.
You're going in and out, Blake, but again, if you can hear us, if you can tell us exactly what's happening right now at the venue.
At the venue, people are still leaving. It's just very difficult. The parking lot was completely full, and you know, just now beginning to empty the point where people can get out of here. A lot of disbelief here earlier, but the news has spread that the president is okay, so people are taking a lot of solace in that.
And Bob, I'm sorry, Blake, how far were you when the shots started to ring out? Where did you say you were?
I was in the front row in the center. I was probably within 10 yards of him, or maybe just a little bit over that.
Wow.
So you were in front of him, looking at him, not in the group behind him.
Correct. I was in the front row center.
We're looking at, we believe this is a victim being carried away, and again, conflicting reports about his condition. Hey, Blake, we're going to try this again. You have been breaking up. We lost your story as the Secret Service kind of swarmed President Trump, and he was below the podium. We saw what happened next. You know, they get up, but is there any other, what did you hear? What kind of things did you observe being close that we may have missed?
I was actually listening. I was actually listening. I could hear what the Secret Service was saying back there, and I could tell. I did not hear them call for any medical attention. I heard them instead coordinating like an attempt to move him, basically getting ready on a countdown to move him off the podium. I didn't know what condition he would be in at that point, and was obviously apprehensive. But when I saw him stand up, when I saw him shake his fist in defiance, I was very, very hopeful at that time that he was going to be okay.
That was an amazing moment, and your vantage point. Well, listen, Blake, we appreciate it very much. We may check back with you. Don't go far. I think we have Bob Brooks, who's still at the venue. He was an eyewitness as well.
Sure was. Bob, what's the latest?
Yeah, Katrina, Greg, State Police, Pennsylvania State Police helicopter just landed here at the grounds. What I want to focus on is we're hearing so many different conflicting reports right now of, or there multiple shooters, or somebody on the roof. What he said is what it sounded like to me. So I was standing right in front of the president. I was on the press high risers. We were about 75 yards away from him. He starts to speak. As we all know, he's barely into the speech at all. He's really just getting warmed up. And I was sitting, we had a chair. We were out there all day. I was sitting watching, and you heard that first pop. And I'm hearing so many different reports of that it maybe hit his teleprompter glass and he was struck by shrapnel. There was some kind of burst or smoke. Maybe that was glass shattering. I don't know. And then you started hearing pop, 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 pop. I'm not a gun expert. It didn't sound like, and who knows? I mean, they're still investigating right now, but they were quick. They sounded kind of hollow, like not like a big kaboom or anything like that. And that's when we all got down and we ducked. I mean, I was underneath tripods, covering your head. I was looking behind me because I was at the back of the rafters, and there was a little production area behind where we were, and I looked down. And clearly we were under attack to some degree. There was an assassination attempt allegedly going on. And I saw two of the people who were back there. One was a woman. I don't know who the other one was. They were bawling. They were crying. Like, it was terrifying. And people in the crowd are getting down. They're screaming. And when I first get...
Okay, hold on a minute, folks. I just saw someone make a point on Twitter that I think is worth noting. And I want to kind of maybe... go review the original video if they have it. Hold on, let me see if it's there. Okay, so we're being told, right, that what happened is that a bullet hits the teleprompter shatters, and the shrapnel is what hits Donald Trump. And again, I'm not saying that that's not true, but I'm trying to look at the video and see if we can see, like, because the teleprompters, a great point, actually, the teleprompters don't look damaged to me. Yeah. Okay, see, look at this shot right here. All right. So again, I'm not so the thing to consider, and what's important to point out in the first 24 hours of something like this, whether it's a mass shooting, presidential assassination attempt, whatever it is, there's a lot of details in the beginning will be inaccurate, and so that's something to keep in mind, right? A point of maybe, taking everything you hear at face value. But again, shout out to Meme Lord. Shout out to God of Memes 7076 on Twitter, because this is literally who made the point, and I was like, wait a minute, maybe you're right. So we're told that the teleprompter shattered, which maybe is true. I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm looking, at the prompters here, and this is after Trump is, on the ground, his ear is bleeding. Do you guys see shattered glass? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what these teleprompters are made of. I wouldn't be surprised, if maybe they're like bulletproof, so that way, I don't know. But then if they're bulletproof, then what hit Trump? Was it still shrapnel? There's no bullet hole for sure, but again, maybe they actually have bulletproof teleprompters. I don't know. That would be a good idea, right? But, even if something is bulletproof, okay, it's kind of a myth that, like, because stuff is bulletproof, it just boing. Like, no, it's just that, you will still see the glass likely shatter and break around it. It just won't fully snap. It won't go through. The bullet won't go through it, right? It's not that the bullet will have no impact, especially on something that thin. It's not going to just boing. It's not like the cartoons, right? There's going to be an impact. I don't see a point of impact on either of these teleprompters or any evidence that we had shattered glass. I'm not sure, okay? I'm not sure. I'm trying to see, okay, so, further, I think it might actually be real. I'm just watching this right now, speculating, obviously. It might actually be real that the bullet, just straight up grazed his ear, okay? I don't know where this teleprompter line is coming from. And again, maybe it's true. Again, first 24 hours, we have genuinely no idea. But I don't see shattered teleprompters. In fact, let me just take a picture of that for post on Twitter or something, because what do you guys think of that? Again, I saw someone make this point on Twitter. I didn't think of it, but I was like, wait a minute, you're right. The teleprompters aren't shattered. So that may be inaccurate reporting. Again, I'm not sure, but I'm just saying that might be. Well, apparently RFK Jr. is on TV.
It's time for us all to every American to take a step back, to take a breath, to understand that this moment that we're all complicit in it, that all of us who fed into the vitriol, to the hatred, to the anger, that this is the ultimate culmination of that, and we need to all step back and start seeing each other once again as Americans, as part of a community, understand that America is better than this, that we now have to be the exemplary nation again, and that we need to come together in a spirit of love, of forgiveness, of reconciliation. And let's start healing our country again and use this terrible, terrible event to start unifying again. And of course, to pray at this moment for President Trump and for his family, who are all going through an ordeal with which I'm very familiar.
Mr. Kennedy, when you witnessed that moment, I can only imagine what you felt personally, again, as Greg referenced, based on the history with your family. Also, you have been asking for your own Secret Service protection, which you have been denied. Just your thoughts on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make this moment about me, but I was with my dad when he died. Of course, I was very, very, I lived through my uncle's assassination in 1963 when I was 10 years old, and then I was 14 when my dad was killed. And I was with him in Los Angeles, and so I understand what the family is going through. I also understand the greater trauma to our country, that this affects everybody in our country. And we have to understand, again, that it's linked in one way or another to the vitriol, to the anger, to the disunity that many of us have contributed to. And, when my uncle died, it was at a time of great division as well. When my uncle landed in Dallas, in November 22nd, 1963, there were posters all around Dallas that said "wanted dead or alive," and the Dallas newspapers were printing very, very poisonous articles about him, and his death in some ways was linked to that wave of hatred. And the same was true with my dad. My dad was running in 1968, which was the most polarized, divisive time in American history since the American Civil War. There was terrible anger on both sides, on all sides. And part of the eruption of that anger was not only the riots we were seeing in the cities that year, but we also saw Martin Luther King's assassination that year. And then 2 months later, my father's assassination. And all of it is connected, and it's connected to each of us, and each of us needs to take responsibility for our own behavior. And hopefully we can make something good of this. We can take that moment between our impulse and our action to, when we're angry at somebody, when we want to amplify a post of clever piece of hatred, that we just say we're not going to do that right now. We're going to try to nurture love. We're going to try to nurture forgiveness.
Okay, so folks, breaking news. Donald Trump actually, we got a couple pieces of breaking news. You know what? Let me just bring it up on Twitter. Hold on.
Without hating them, we need to stop saying that the other guy is going to be the Republic. because, there are a lot of crazy people in this country. And when you do that, when you use that extreme kind of language, you're giving permission to those kind of people to engage in this kind of action. So, that would be my message to people.
Sure. Mr. Kennedy, here's an idea at the appropriate time, a joint appearance where they're not debating, perhaps President Biden, President Trump, and maybe yourself, a joint appearance where, you air your differences, but just maybe all three of you call for what you just summarized. That might go a long way. I have a question for you, though. You were looking for Secret Service protection a few months ago. I believe the Biden administration would not grant you Secret Service protection. Has there been a change and given the events of today, sir, your situation is an urgent one?
Again, I don't want to make this about me. I think we need to focus on larger issues. There's a lot more important issues.
Okay, folks. Sorry to cut off RFK if any of you were listening there, but we got a couple of things to talk about. So this photograph apparently comes from Doug Mills. He is a photojournalist at the New York Times. And again, I pointed out earlier, I don't think the shrapnel story is true, right? The whole idea that the shrapnel from the teleprompter got hit and then the shrapnel exploded into Trump's face or whatever. Because, and again, the reason I don't think that is true is because I looked at the video and the teleprompter doesn't look shattered or damaged. Wouldn't you, by the way, think it would fall over? Let me actually point that out too, right? Because those teleprompters, I don't think they're like hardwired into the ground, because I remember a Trump rally back in 2016. I think I've seen them fall over before. Like they're on the ground, but they're not super. So you would expect the impact of a bullet would knock the teleprompter over, right? So on top of that, I'm saying doubly here, I don't think that is very believable at all. It would fall over, right? Am I wrong? Do I just not understand physics here? Because I'm pretty sure that's how it would work. So, but apparently it does look like now what originally seemed to be true is true. And the shrapnel thing may have been false reporting, because according to Doug Mills, this photograph appears to show like the bullet the moment before it hit Trump. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what we're looking at here. It could be some type of optical illusion. It's a different picture, but this photo is going around right now. It appears to be the bullet itself about to graze his ear there. So, there you have it. A random guy responds. So apparently this is a video of an emergency room doctor who is talking about trying to save an innocent man who was shot in the head at Trump's rally. So apparently, we might as well take a listen to this. Props to this guy. I'm not aware of whether or not he saved his life or that's the person who died. So, obviously very tragic. But, sometimes like these, it's good to hear a hero's story, right? So props to this guy for sure.
That's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around and was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was there only one person shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person?
I was the only one who did it.
We need to evacuate everybody.
That's exactly where I heard.
Yeah, hold on. Wouldn't the teleprompters fall over or look shattered if it? So that sounds to me like the guy who died, unfortunately. I would at least think, right? But this guy apparently is an ER doctor who tried to save and tried to call out. He's been hit. So very tragic situation, but obviously, props to this guy for doing, I guess, the noble thing in that moment, right? Trying to save an innocent man's life who was tragically taken from us by a totally sick and evil person who, by the way, such a bad shot, he can't even hit what he was aiming at. No, instead he kills a random innocent bystander who, you know, was just yeah. All right, folks. Let me see. I think I missed a couple of things in the chat here, so let me take a look at some of this. Sarah Marie, thank you for the 25 Knox. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure what currency that is. But the media narrative will land on quote unquote staged. I would not put it past them. Thank you for the 25. Jilly Guy 52 for 5 says they are already saying it's fake, but why would it be necessary when Trump's campaign is at its peak? These people are just completely like sick and delusional and ridiculous. You know, like what we're dealing with really is Blue Anon. You know, this is what I say. This is what I always call them. It's true. The left-wing insane conspiracy theories that, like, you know, violence does not exist on the left. It's an exclusively right-wing phenomenon because apparently 2016 to 2020 just never happened. You know, and I'm not even blaming the greater left for this. I'm just saying there's extremists, they exist. But, you know, that's not real. And then this case where, again, we don't even know at the current moment who tried to assassinate Trump. It might not even be a leftist, right? It could be some type of Palestinian or Iranian extremist for all we know. Like, we don't know who is trying to do it, right? It is not yet confirmed that this is Antifa, but they're trying to say it's staged. And they're still saying this huge public assassination attempt that, you know, even Joe Biden is not saying was staged. The whole thing was staged, right? Someone shot an airsoft gun at Trump. I don't know. These people are ridiculous. They are insane, okay? You know, they always say we are in a cult. They are in like a ridiculous cult, right? Like a cult that doesn't even appear to be in touch with the reality. It's just insane, okay? So, you know, I'm really trying to bring down the temperature in our country right now. I understand the need for it. But I see stuff like that, and it's truly infuriating. You know, it's like, you guys can't even just, like, again, you know, how difficult really is it? How difficult really is it to say that we disavow political violence, you know? Like, I know some people are going out there saying, like, oh, well, it's all the media, it's all the liberals' fault. I'm not saying that. I acknowledge that crazy people exist. Now, obviously, it's not good sometimes to fan the flames of those crazy people, but I'm not blaming, like, the liberal side for what happened. We don't even know who did this, first of all, right? But, you know, it tells you a lot that these people can't even just say political violence is bad. Instead, they want to take the angle that the assassination against Trump was staged. And apparently now, by the way, blood is on the freaking hands of the people who are saying that. Not in that sense, but like, you know, they are down. Let me correct myself. They are downplaying literally an innocent person who died. Okay. Someone literally died. They were shot in the head. Okay. Sorry. Misspoke with the blood on the hands thing, because that's not literally what I mean. But so apparently that is stage two. You know, I want all of these Blue Anon Democrat people to go to the families of the person who was killed right now and look them in the eye and say, oh, it was staged. Like, just like truly sick and evil people, okay? You know, not, you know, just anyone who is on the other side, but who is trying to say that what happened here isn't real, okay? And that's the angle here, is that Trump personally set this up so that way he could look better or something. Like that's just insane. It doesn't even make any sense. It's not even logical, you know? But anyways, Sheeny Beam, he sends a member chat saying, Mickey endorses Trump for president. If you know, you know. Tell Mickey I said thanks. David Carlson for 10, thank you very much, says the Federalist is reporting that the Trump security detail has been requesting more resources and are being denied by the DHS. Wow, thank you for the 10, David Carlson, and thank you for that information. It's good to see you. You know what? Let me try to see if we can find that article or information right now, because honestly, that would tell you a lot, right? That'd be very telling. And by the way, it would not be surprising or out of left field for me, considering that they're doing the same thing to RFK Jr., Okay, so in that sense, let me see if I can where this is on the Federalist. Yeah, okay, so from the Federalist, Sean Davis tweets out that a source familiar with Trump's security detail tells the Federalist that the former and future president's detail has been asking for beefed up security and protection and resources for weeks, but has been rebuffed time and time again by Biden's DHS. That's very interesting. That's all I'm going to say. That's very interesting. Okay? Because they're doing the same thing to RFK. So, and that's publicly known. So if you wonder, is this a fact or not? I don't know, but it's pretty believable, right? It's pretty believable because we see Biden already doing that. So that's why I bring up RFK, because that's publicly known. So if this is sort of a source, it's a rumor, again, would not put it past them, okay? But again, this is apparently being alleged right now. DHS, which oversees Secret Service, was not responsive to those requests for more resources, the source said. Was Biden... Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to speculate on this part, obviously, but again, draw your own conclusions. I mean, think what you will of the entire situation, because, they are not obviously properly conducting security. I mean, that part is very much known. So... And again, going back to, if you missed that part of the stream, Nick Sartor posted this. Take a look. This is the video. Oh, look at that. I accidentally showed my template. But this is the picture, I should say, of like what it looks like on Google Maps. And as you can see, I mean, the fact that a shooter was able to get on top of here, Trump's right there, that's really... obvious. Like, you would think it's common sense for Secret Service to lock that down, right? You got to be watching this rooftop. Like, we know what happened to JFK. It shouldn't be a hard thing to think about. But, if this is true, which the Federalist is reporting, that apparently Trump's Secret Service detail has been requesting increased protection, and the Biden DHS has been saying no. If that's true, you'd have to imagine that has a big part to play, and also question the motives of why is Biden doing that? Why is Biden denying RFK, another one of his political opponents, Secret Service protection altogether? And if that's true, I don't want to say it's on Biden's hands, but I'll say this certainly could have been prevented, right? If that's all true. That's a fair angle to take, in my opinion. It could have been prevented. If it's true that, hey, you were denying Secret Service of resources, right? So, just something to consider. Let's see. Let's tune back into Newsmax. Cheng said it looked like a BB gun? All right, hold on, Chad. Is this guy for real? Is this guy serious? Okay. Cenk Uygur has not even shot a gun in his life, okay? What is he talking about, BB gun? How would he even know that, okay? And look, I thought I heard what sounded like a 22, going off, right? But I don't know if that even was the actual shooter or Secret Service shooting back. So, like, I don't really know on that front. But a BB gun, really? Where did Cenk Uygur say that? Where did Cenk Uygur say that? I see he says, if someone were to draw up what an absolute disaster of a campaign, it looks like someone... I don't see where he said it was a BB gun, unless they're doing a live stream right now, but I don't see it. He did say the dumbass that shot him was not only morally wrong, but gave him the world's greatest political picture. Oh wait, sorry, I'm not even on Cenk Uygur's Twitter feed. My bad. This is what I was looking at, chat. I don't see him saying that it was a BB gun anywhere, but I did see him say that he gave Trump the world's greatest political picture, which is true. That Again, not cheering any of this happening, but that is objectively true. Where did Cheng say that? The person in the chat, let me know.
Of the one person who was killed and those who were injured. And again, that comes directly from the president. He did say that it was a bullet that struck him.
All right, I think we have another eyewitness on the ground, and Bob Brooks is standing by with that witness. Bob, can you hear us?
Casey says, I've been shot with a BB gun. It wouldn't kill someone from that distance. No, exactly. That's the guy, apparently, according to the doctor who was there, like, the guy's head who got hit was blown open, you know? So, 150 yards. Honestly, I that seems like a long distance for a BB to travel anyway. Like, maybe a metal pellet gun could with enough force. But, a toy BB gun, I don't think it's even going 150 yards. Or by the end of it, it's just gonna but yeah, it's not splitting someone's head open and killing them, whatsoever, So I don't know if Cheng said that, in fairness, but if he said that, the guy has no clue what he's talking about, okay?
Yep, there he is, good.
He said it in the 4-minute video he put on TYT. All right, let's pull that. I'm going to keep playing Newsmax, but let's pull that up.
Hey, Bob.
To the stage. I was about 100 yards back standing. I wasn't in the seating area. And, he's talking and probably maybe, 5-10 minutes into it. I just heard a few shots coming from my left side, which would have been, I guess, Trump's right or thereabouts. And, when those first couple of shots rang out, it looked like a hydraulic line or something on my right side got hit because there was all stuff spraying out, which sort of made things more confusing.
I don't see chat. What is this video you guys are talking about? Because I see this is on TYT right now, latest. This is about insurance. I'm pretty sure these are pre-uploaded videos, by the way. They just scheduled. What are we talking? I don't see what you guys are talking about. Maybe they deleted it. I don't know. I don't see what you guys are talking about.
It's ridiculous. I mean, it's been on a downturn. I'm not going to get, blame, but I guess it is politics. I mean, you look at what they've done, defunding the police, emboldening the criminals, smash and grabs everywhere, and then somebody to feel emboldened enough to do this.
What do you think about what they've done to him? What has been done to him? The indictments, the prosecutions.
It's all clean. It's all baloney. It's all BS charges.
Do you think that plays into why somebody may have come here in smaller caliber?
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
So there's some speculation right now. Someone's saying 22. Yeah, I mean, so maybe I gotta watch the video one more time. That's what I thought when I heard it, And my initial thing, the thing I was initially thinking is like, maybe someone did the New Vegas, like you can sneak the 22 in the casino. That's kind of what I thought someone did. Is like they took a tiny little 22 pistol. Actually, well, I have a Kimber Micro 9, so like that's a good example, right? Maybe like they took something really tiny, into the rally somehow, and then they pulled it out and they were shooting, right? Clearly now we know it's a rifle. Now, that said, he's 150 yards away. It's a little weird to me that the audio sounded so close, right? Isn't that a little weird to you guys? 150, I don't know. Or maybe he really was that close and Secret Service really did fail that freaking badly, right? Because I don't see how it sounded pretty loud. But yeah, assuming it we heard it right, there's no distortion of the audio, whatever. It sounded like a 22 for sure. If not, I don't know. Maybe he had some type of compressor silencer on it. I don't know what compressors or silencers really sound like. Like I know, the video games and movies make them a certain way. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with the real sound, if that's a possibility. But yeah, my first thought was it's a 22 because it sounds just like that. It's the iconic like pop instead of the bang. It's just like. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I know we probably have many Second Amendment heads that know this stuff much better than I do, but it seems like what it was. So some people are saying 308. Yeah, I agree. It doesn't sound like a 308 because you would hear a bang, right? Because 308 is It's a powerful round. Even like 9mm, it definitely made that 22 sound. You know, it's like the psh, 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 instead of the boom boom, it's like psh, psh, psh. But you know, maybe it's also important to consider the thing you heard from the rally is like microphone. You got an omnidirectional mic right here. There might be a unidirectional. Or sorry, you have a unidirectional mic right here. Omnidirectional, maybe picking up the crowd. Who knows? Maybe the gunshot doesn't sound the way it sounded in real life. I don't know about that. So maybe there was a different round used. Because it does seem like if it is a 22, that's a long shot to take, right? With a 22 rifle. And it's not really the best round to use. You know, it's kind of a round meant to either like teach a young kid how to shoot or maybe hunt like rabbits and small, vermin or whatever. But I don't know. Maybe the assassin clearly was not the smartest guy ever. So, I don't know. It doesn't seem to me like that's a situation where someone experienced or knows what they're doing would be using a 22. But, clearly it was enough to kill at least one person here. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, I don't think the gun that was even used here is super relevant. It's a super relevant conversation, but it's certainly going to be in the criminal report for sure, right? So, I guess it does. People are curious about what actually happened. Daily Wire updated and says President Trump says I was shot in the ear. All right, let's take a look at that breaking news if we can find it. But yeah, like I said, folks, that seems to be what happened to me too. And now we're confirming because the teleprompter thing doesn't make any sense. Let me reiterate for people who weren't here. First of all, you look at the video, there's no sign of the teleprompter shattering at all. So the shrapnel thing doesn't make sense. And then on top of that, the teleprompters are not bolted into the ground. They're going to fall over if they're hit by a gun, by a bullet, right? So, things to consider there. But let's see here if Daily Wire has the reporting. But yeah, they seem to be confirming that Trump was shot in the ear. Okay, U.S. Secret Service has just issued a statement, so check this out, folks. From the U.S. Secret Service, during former President Trump's campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, on the evening of July 13th at approximately 6:15, a suspected shooter fired multiple shots toward the stage from an elevated position outside of his rally venue. U.S. Secret Service personnel neutralized the shooter, who is now deceased. U.S. Secret Service quickly responded with protective measures, and the former president is safe and being evaluated. One spectator was killed. 2 were critically injured. The incident is currently under investigation, and Secret Service has formally notified the FBI. I'm going to call BS on that, okay? You guys really didn't do your job, and now you're like, come on. It was a total failure, okay? Like, the Secret Service didn't do their job at all. So, damage control, quite literally, in my opinion, from the Secret Service. But, okay, yes. Michael Knowles, as of 25 minutes ago, says, President Trump is now confirming he was shot in the ear. 0.5 centimeter difference. He's dead, thank God. So, yeah, I 100% agree. Like I said, truly, no other way to put it, divine providence is the reason Trump is alive right now. Because now it's confirmed. This is not a way off shot that hit the teleprompter and he's just injured by shrapnel. Yes, he was indeed hit in the ear. And again, you can tell because the teleprompters are not even damaged. So, that in mind, yes, Donald Trump, indeed, 0.5 centimeter away from being killed. And you can tell tragically someone else who was in the crowd literally was killed. And so prayers and rest in peace, obviously, to him. But, let me scroll Daily Wire here, see if there's any other news. Because if we're not going to get any more groundbreaking news tonight, I might just call it here. Because, my voice is starting to go a little bit. But, because I have not had you know what happened, chat? I spilled my glass of water over when I started the stream that I was going to use to, recharge my throat. And now we have none. So, but listen. We do it because this moment is too important not to talk about. But, okay, Apparently from Benny Johnson, as of 13 minutes ago, President Trump's motorcade is leaving the hospital. So there you have it. Here's the video of that. So the good news, again, Trump doesn't seem to be hurt that bad. They probably just stitched it and that's it. Like, he seems to be totally fine if he's already out of the hospital. But, again, half a centimeter, half an inch to the right or left. I forget which ear he was on, but yeah, he's dead. He would have been dead. Oh, and by the way, chat, we just got news. He's not attending the UFC fight tonight. Those reports are fake, which, you know, I kind of thought. I kind of was like, there's no way. He's not going to go to the UFC fight. But, yeah, we now confirmed. Okay, he's not going to the UFC fight. Whoever said it was memeing, it seems like, because I don't think that is true. But... Yep, so there, of course, is the motorcade, yeah, leaving the hospital, ladies and gentlemen. You know, not much to see there. I'm just kind of responding to that breaking news. But let's see. I'm going to turn Newsmax back on and let's see if we see anything else going on.
With fake stories and vitriol for 8 years.
You never forget where you were when you heard what had happened. And again, it wasn't just fear for the former president, hoping he was okay, but also just a larger pit in my stomach about what is happening to our country. And you use the word vitriol, and I think it's important for us to focus on how dangerous language can truly be.
Well, I'm all about free speech, as you know. I'm a journalist at heart. But the fake news media has been lying, just absolutely lying about President Trump and calling him all kinds of names that aren't true. I've gotten to know him very well over the past several years. I actually had the honor of interviewing him when I was a journalist. He is an incredible man, obviously an incredible fighter. You know, you saw the crowd out tonight. Every night, if he did a rally every night across this great country, he would draw a massive crowd of the people who are just working so hard and want to make sure that they have a country to have their kids grow up in. I looked behind him when I was looking at the video. Of course, it's been playing over and over again. And I thought to myself, looking into the eyes of the people standing behind him, I bet any single one of those people would have jumped in front of that bullet tonight, including myself. That's how important this man is. And I was at a campaign stop today, and as I was leaving, I was talking to some of the Arizonans who had joined me, and many of them said, we're praying for you, and we pray for President Trump every day. I believe with 100% certainty is prayers that have been protecting this incredible man, Donald J. Trump, and prayers that saved him tonight. I love that when he got off the stage, surrounded by Secret Service, he pumped his fist, and you could tell he said, fight, 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 and you hear the chants of that crowd saying, USA, 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 and we will fight President Trump. If you're watching tonight, we will fight for the USA, and we thank you for your leadership.
Amazing that the Grace Under Fire, whatever you want to call it, it was really inspiring and an iconic image. Hey, you know, we have so much information from President Trump, that he put out. I just want to reiterate for everybody, this is from President Trump within 90 minutes of the incident. I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed. Also, to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet rip through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. Wow, that is a lot of information, more than we've received really from just about any other agency. Hey, Kari, an idea, and tell me if this is silly, but, you know, the other day, President Trump, you know, all that question about a cognitive test, and President Trump challenged Joe, hey, we'll do it. We'll go to...
Yeah, so if you were listening there to Newsmax, so Trump did, I think I forgot to cover this, if I'm not mistaken, so I might as well do it. I saw this about, like, 30 minutes ago or so. But Donald Trump puts out, I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper right part of my ear. So yes, no teleprompter, no shrapnel. That was a fake story, fake reporting, not true. But, you know, I don't know where it came. I don't know. I'm not saying it was intentional, but, you know, stuff like this, you hear false information in the beginning. So I knew immediately that something was wrong, in that I heard a whizzing sound and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so then I realized what was happening. God bless America. And, yeah, truly God bless America right now, because we could sure use it. We could sure use it as a country. So there is the Trump statement. And as Newsmax brought up, yeah, arguably more information than we've gotten from the official sources at all so far. So I don't know. Let me see if there's another press conference or something going on, because I would think there is, right? You know, let me see if, like, what's that, like, live 24-hour Fox channel? Because they're not going to do a press conference from the police or from Secret Service or something, like,
And we do appear to still be having some trouble with that clip's playback. So what we'll do is we'll play out we'll play out this moment from earlier today in the rally. Trump at a rally in Pennsylvania, just about an hour north of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so I don't know. Apparently there's not going to be some type of press conference from the mayor, from the DA, from the law enforcement. I don't know. That's I understand this is not just any mass shooting, like this is a attempted assassination, but I would think that would be the case, right? I would think that would be the case. So, you know. Well, let's see. Apparently, there's a new video going around right now of the sniper. Let's see. Yeah, so this is apparently the sniper on the rooftop who took out the shooter. Which, okay, you know what? Obviously, someone was ready. Someone was watching. Good. But I still have questions, because how did he not see the guy on the rooftop across who was setting up a gun? You know, no one was like, hey, is that guy supposed to be on the rooftop? Like, you know, okay, this guy individually, probably a hero, I'm sure. But I still have so many questions in regards to the greater Secret Service detail and protocol and all that, you know? So, I don't know, just a lot of questions. There is a very graphic photograph, apparently, of the assassin. Looks like he got hit many times, and that's, of course, not surprising. But I don't really want to show that on YouTube, obviously. But let's see here. I'm going to at least take a listen to the audio and see.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Oh, okay. So here you go. So this is apparently the moment that it happened. So.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
So people were speculating earlier on, like, was it a 22 or whatever? It sounds like what we heard on camera was coming from the Secret Service guy, right? Probably the shooter was so far away you just couldn't really hear him. I would think, right? Let's see.
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Although I don't know. I mean,
Something that said, take a look at what happened.
it sounds like that was his shot, right? But then, hold on. But then you have the other two, and was he shooting there? I couldn't really, I don't know. I can't really tell, Chad. I can't really tell. But this is people are saying this is the moment where it happened, but.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't really tell. But that is, again, allegedly the moment where, you know, this took place. So. Just sharing this information as I receive it, folks. Just sharing this information as I receive it. But let me see if I can find anything else to share with you guys before we wrap up the stream, because seems to be mostly concluded. I'm sure we're going to find more information tomorrow, but I think for now, it seems like we know all we're going to know for the next couple hours at least. So,
you know, that's a little bit old. That take a look.
Apparently, this is another angle of it. So, if you want to check it out,
took over, and look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
So look, obviously, as I'll keep saying, I'm not downplaying the situation and the person who was killed, the two people who were injured. It's incredibly tragic. But I would have to imagine if you are in this crowd right now and you just saw the president survive assassination and pump his fist in the air. I mean, obviously, I'm sure everyone now is mourning the loss of other people at this rally, but I'd have to imagine in that moment, you know, that's gotta feel inspiring for sure. It takes more than that to kill a bull moose. But I think we need a different one for Trump, okay? Well, because Trump is not a bull moose. Well, what is Trump? I don't know. It takes more than that to kill a lion. You could just say it takes more than that to kill the Don. I mean, that part is true. I don't know. I don't know. It takes more than that to kill the great MAGA king. Remember that whole thing? But no, it is so true. It is so true. Definitely one of the best photographs in political history, as tragic as the situation is, for sure, for sure. All right, chat, I guess we'll read some of our last super chats here and call it a night, because I don't think we're going to get any new bombshell news in the next couple hours. I think most of the info we're going to get today is probably out. I'm sure tomorrow we'll find out more about how it happened and all that, but I don't think any conclusions are arriving just now, you know, so... And I keep seeing this photograph of the shooter all over Twitter. So that is interesting. Okay, actually, one more thing, I guess, and then I'll get to your super chats. This is from the New York Times. Yeah, so this is apparently when Trump noticed he was hit in the ear. So, according to him, he heard something whiz past, and then so. All right, that said, I'll read your last super chats. Again, feel free to send them in, I guess. You know, I'm not trying to make this stream about money, but if you guys send, you know, I'll read them. And maybe I'll look into donating proceeds, or at least a portion of the proceeds, to the Trump campaign if that's considered legal to publicly say. Okay, so I'm not sure. Again, I don't know how this campaign finance stuff works. I don't know if that's, oh, you're holding a fundraiser for him. But if it is true, and we made $144 so far on stream, and I take home, YouTube takes like 30%. So I'll donate maybe like $50 to $100 to the Trump camp. Maybe I'll even do that tonight. But okay, let's read our last super chats and get out of here. So Rep T for $5 Canadian says, it was only one day someone attempted it. Love Trump and glad he made it out. Feel bad for the families who got affected. It's horrible. It's horrible, because it's like, I mean, obviously it's horrible what they try to do to Trump, what that guy tried to do to Trump, but it's like arguably, in my opinion, even more tragic that someone who, you just wanted to go to a Trump rally today and that was it, they're not involved in this, right? They're not Trump. I get maybe they're a Trump supporter, but it's like, they have no involvement really directly in the shooter's grievance, and they're the one who gets hurt, that shooter is in hell right now. I mean, that is something we certainly do know, right? But Wumpy for $10 says, just joined the live, bro. This was wild. I just so happened to be watching live on one monitor while playing video games, and my heart just dropped. He turned his head last minute. Just insane. Yeah, I mean, feel free if we want to talk about in chat. Where were you the moment you heard this news? Okay, because I mean, I'll tell you. I'll tell you the full story. I mean, I don't know if this is like too self-centered, I guess, but I mean, I'm sure, you guys watching me, maybe you're interested. So I was debating today. I'll tell the full story. I was debating today on whether or not to actually stream that rally, right? And so we might have caught it live, but I decided, okay, I'm going to stream the RNC next week, which is next week, although this is 2 days before the RNC, so I don't know if that affects the timeline here. It shouldn't, but it might. I was like, we'll take it off. We'll just stream the RNC, and we'll get plenty of streaming in, right? So I actually just got a new car. Okay, so I just got a new car, and let me just say, it's fun. It's a lot of fun to drive. So, today I recorded my content for the day, which I don't know what I'm going to do about that content. Like, there's not really much else to talk about besides this at the moment, obviously, but, hopefully maybe at some point that can be posted. But, I just finished for the day. I went on a little drive, just, around in circles, so that way I could, test out my new car, get used to it. And then I came back home. It's pretty hot out today, and so I was sitting on the couch, right? I was just tired. I was debating, maybe I'll play video games, maybe I'll take a nap. The point of all of this whole story is I was not checked into politics at all at the moment where this was happening. And I'm just going on my phone. I'm not even on Twitter, right? Because Twitter to me is like work. It's my work app, right? For content and politics and all that. So I was just like scrolling through my friend's Snapchat stories, and I see someone on their story talking about how Trump's been shot. And I was like, what? Is this some kind of prank? What's going on? And then I go to Twitter and I'm like, nope, that really did just happen. Then we scrambled to do this live. And, there are a few moments in politics where I get a genuine, like, rush of adrenaline to where I'm, like, pulsating or shaking. But I guess you might have seen on the beginning of the stream, I was very, like, talking over myself. And that's because it's like, seeing that happen in real time is just not something you really expect, I guess, especially when I wasn't even streaming. I wasn't even ready to cover the news. I was about to take the rest of the day off, right? I was about to finish for the day, and that all happened. And of course, earlier this very week on Tuesday, I was in Miami. I was at the Trump rally in Miami. And so it's even crazier to think, hey, you were just there. And then this happened at the very next rally. So, I don't know. I thank God for every day that I'm alive, is what I'm going to say on that front. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure this is a story a lot of people are going to tell, right? Because, your grandparents talk about where they were, if you're my age, that is. I'm sure some people, but, my grandparents will talk about where they were when JFK got assassinated. My parents talk about where they were when 9/11 happened. This is going to be one of those moments, for sure, right? Everyone's going to remember where they were. I remember I was right out there on the couch, not engaged in politics, which I am for most hours of the day because it's kind of a job. You know, I don't always like that, but it was a moment where I was totally disengaged. I was about to, go, have fun the rest of the day. And then this happened. So that's my story. I mean, I'm not, I wonder what your guys' stories are. If it's a Prius, I'm unsubbing. No, it's not would I be joyriding around in a Prius? Okay. I don't know if I want to dox what car I drive. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I want to do it. Okay. So, okay. All right. I'll tell basically the story. So, I don't know. I don't want to dox it though. I don't want to dox the car. Do I want to dox the car? I mean, you guys will see at some point. Is this the point of the stream? We're talking about Trump's assassination. I'm not going to talk about, oh, look, I got this new car and oh my gosh. It has 2 doors and 2 seats. And it's not like a Corvette. It's a little bit cheaper than that. But there's your hint. There's your hint. 2 doors, 2 seats, and it's tiny. And it's not a smart car, okay? It's a sports car. All right. You can speculate on what it is from there. All right? That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say. It's a Tesla for sure. I would drive a Tesla. Yeah, really? I will say it's meant to complement my my V8, right? Because I do drive an American muscle car. So, but I'm trading in. I used to have a sedan. That was like my first car. I traded that in for something that was still like a daily car. So, but it was a little like nicer and it was fun to drive. The car is fun to drive. It has 2 doors, but it's not like a super fast performance car because that's what my Camaro is for, right? So there's your hint. If you're so curious, what kind of car do you drive, Vince? Okay, yeah, one of my cars is a Camaro SS. The other, you can spec. You know what? Family Guy made a joke about it once in the AA episode. Okay, that's the car. That's the car. If you want to know. Okay, so I financed the car. No, I didn't finance a car. I trade in for a car. Why in the world would I finance a car? Okay. Gay Bar says better not have a push rod engine in it. I gave all the information I'm gonna give. Okay, I gave. Actually, you sent a super chat. Okay, fine. Yes. It's a ND new generation Miata. That's what it is. Because my first car was like a Hyundai sedan, and I was like, all right, I don't want to lose the like daily car, but I'm kind of sick of my daily car not being cool. So I just traded it in, paid the cash difference. It was a decent deal. People are saying why. I don't understand the hate. Truly, okay? It's not the freaking 1990s Miata with the ding 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 anime eye. It's not that one. It's the new one, okay? It's the 2016 one. It's the one that looks like a Walmart Porsche. Okay, that's what the cars look like. I'm not taking this hate like, oh, you drive like a stupid car. Okay? It's the new ones that look like I said, like Walmart Porsches. That's honestly why I bought it. I was like, it looks kind of like a Porsche. It's cool. I like it. It's that one. Why y'all yapping about cars? Because people are coming at me like, why are you having a Miata? Why do you have a Miata? I don't have the freaking anime Miata. I'm talking about the new one that looks like a Porsche. That was my entire inspiration. That's why I saw those things and was like, that's such a cool looking car. Okay, and now I'm getting all this like, Miata, what? My other car is an American muscle car, okay, and a V8. So, can you let me have my budget car? Can you let me have my daily? All right, is that so much to ask in Joe Biden's America? Okay. By the way, the car still takes 91 gas, so it's not like I'm saving a ton, even though it has 4 cylinders. But, all right, I fulfill, look, my carbon footprint is insane. Okay, because I have 2 cars, and Miata's okay, but neither of them are necessarily fuel efficient, considering the other one still takes 91 gas, right? So, I'm burning as much CO2 as really anyone, frankly, okay? So, I don't appreciate this, like, why would you drive a Miata? Like, what, because it's not American? Because it's not, like, conservative? I have an American muscle car, okay? And you don't even understand the amount of money I've spent to maintain that thing just because it's my patriotic duty, okay? Let me have my daily car, all right? That doesn't freaking break down every 2 seconds like the Camaro, okay? You know how much money I've spent having to fix that thing? So just let me have the Miata in peace, okay? I didn't sell the Camaro. Like I said, I have both cars, okay? You know, I have my Sunday car and I have my Monday car, okay? You know, is that okay? Is that okay, chat? All right, but no, in all seriousness, I'm not hating lol. I'm just hating. I'm not hating lol. I'm just a car guy. Miata or thumbs up. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying I see people in chat like Bloxy is going off about like why, you know. Look, okay. I'm not going to keep this as a promise, but when Donald Trump is elected president again and the gas prices go down, maybe I'll own 2 V8s. Okay, would that make it happen? Would that make everyone happy? 2 V8s? I burned double. I burned 16 cylinders worth of gas. Okay, but I already burned 12. Okay, I have a V8. I have an i4. Is that good enough, chat? All right, that's a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. How could you do that to us? How could I do what to you? I have a American muscle car. What else do you want? But you're mad because it's not my daily? Because it's not my daily car? Is that the complaint? You know? Look at this car behind you. You know what that is? You know what that is? That is a 1970 Corvette Stingray. C3, I think, right? C2, C3. Don't question my patriotism, okay? Listen. Get an American muscle car. I have one. I'm sorry. I wanted a daily car, okay? And I had to reaffirm racial stereotypes. What can I say? Because the complaint has always been, Vince is so whitewashed, he thinks he's white. And I didn't really help those stereotypes. I'm like driving around a freaking Camaro and stuff. So I was like, listen. Maybe you gotta own one thing that's like stereotypically Asian, you know? So I got a Mazda. Whoa. Oh, I have Mazda. Oh, you know, I had to do it. I had to do it. Look, so now both sides are happy. I don't know. We're just messing around at this point. But hold on. I just lost the where did the live chat even go? Hold on. I just lost the tab with the... Oh, here it is. It's on this screen. My bad. Sheeny Beanie for $2 says, Baby Mickey endorses Trump in 2024. Thank you for the $2, Sheeny Beanie. But no, look, I don't know why we made this about the car. I was just telling the story because we were doing a thing like, where were you when, you know, they attempted the assassination? And then it becomes this whole drama about the car I drive, okay? About the car I drive, you know? I'm sorry, okay? Look. I had to reaffirm racial stereotypes, okay? Because I thought it would be funny. Because, you know, truthfully, I've never really been a big Asian car guy because my dad was never one. So, like, I've always been into the American, like, sports cars and stuff. Like, Corvette's always been my dream car. But I was like, you know what? It'll be kind of funny. And listen. I'm not that tall. I'll say that, okay? You know, I'm like 5'8" or so. So, you know, those cars are made to fit people like me. You know, they're not made to fit tall white men, you know? So I was like, listen. Just for once in your life, embrace it, all right? So we have the little anime car, the Miata, okay? Mazda is more American than Chevy at this point. You know, that is a valid point. That is a valid point. A lot of the Japanese car manufacturers actually manufacture more in America than the American ones. That is actually true. Especially Honda. I know, like, Honda, I think they say, like, produces more in America than GM does, which is crazy. But, you know, Vince was cruising around in a Miata. I know the TikTok sound you're talking about. Yes. Listen. Let me say. That car is a lot of fun. Okay? It's like driving a go-kart. Like it's not fast. It's not fast. But when you're in it, you feel like you're going so freaking fast because it's just so tiny. You know? It's a lot of, so that is what I was doing. I was just like joyriding in a Miata, and then meanwhile, they're trying to assassinate Trump out here, and I literally just got back home. I was tired because I freaking took the top down and it was hot, and then I'm like, so there's my story. Would love to hear yours, okay? Would love to hear yours, but that is what happened. American muscle cars are dying out. I own a RCF. No, they are dying out. That's why I will not get rid of that Camaro just because like it's a statement. Like you have to keep it no matter how much money it freaking costs to fix, no matter how impractical it is. Like do not sell that car, right? Like yes, that car is a political statement for me. Absolutely. And the fact that it sits around, you know, as almost like a project car. Not really. It has a lot of miles, you know. So there you go. Chingster says thoughts on the Dodge Hellcat. I'll say this. I like Challengers, but the stereotype around them has completely ruined them. You know, like, and it's actually sad because I think Charger, I've never really been a big fan, but the Challenger, you know, it's like, it looks like an old school muscle car. Objectively speaking, it's a sick car. Now it's a nice looking car. It doesn't perform well, obviously. You know, it's too big. It's too heavy. You know, like Mustang and Camaro are both faster, but that's not like the, you know, in terms of like by each level. But that's not the point of the Dodge. The Dodge is like it's the you know, it's like the point. It's like an old school muscle car. I understand that. I don't hate Dodge, but you know, unfortunately, a certain culture around it has, you know, sort of, I think, kind of ruined those cars, in my opinion, which is sad. Because I think, you know, I don't know if they're my favorite, like, of the American muscle cars, but I definitely like them. You know, they've just been completely ruined, I think, in my opinion. So, all right, folks, let's not ramble about cars for too long. So I'll probably wrap it up here, folks. Again, prayers out to President Trump. Glad he is safe. Prayers to the families who are affected by the victims, obviously. And, you know, it's a crazy time. So, you know, I would say, I wish we didn't end on that note. But you know what? There's nothing we can do. So might as well end it, you know, kind of smiling a little bit, you know, going back and forth about cars, right? So, yeah. All right, folks. See you guys later. I'm sure we'll do plenty of content talking about this. This is going to dominate the news for a very long time. But, all right. Until next time, folks. See y'all later. Pray for our president. Pray for this country. Pray for the victims. And peace.